Live from beautiful downtown Bastrop, it's time for the Stage Select, starring Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
What could this possibly be? Seems a lot like a podcast. Wonder what specifically. Talking about video games. With your hosts, you're in good hands. Not more of the same. Now we'll jump right in. So expect the unexpected and more. Now we'll get grooving. There ain't always gonna walk through the door. There just might be some strategy in this. Just having fun with our special guest. Time for Stage Select.
And here are your hosts, Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
Welcome, one and all, to the Stage Select. I'm Julian Titus.
And I'm Justin Ham. Hi. We're almost done with this. It's true. We're almost
We
done.
are, actually. Wouldn't it, by the time you get to the end of this episode, we will be done.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yes, it's our final episode of the season,
Yeah.
even though we're recording this before the next to last episode of the season.
And other things that will come after.
Yeah,
It's all the-
we're recording 4 episodes in 3 days.
Yeah. Yes, right. I forget we have a doubleheader tomorrow. Right.
We
yes.
do have a double
That's the
header
whole
tomorrow.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I did the thing for that. So
I did too.
yeah.
We're doing the Suffer Select tomorrow before the regular episode
Yeah.
that you've already heard at this point.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're doing the final Game of the Year episode, which you will not have heard yet because
No.
time is weird. It end of the season is always like really wonky for me in my head, just like
man.
lining everything up, recording it, editing it, and it's like, but it's all like, okay, so I've got Game of the Year week 1 edited, but what did
Yeah.
I name those files as last year? And it's like, all right, that's a special,
Right.
So that needs to be Stage Select S013.
Mm-hmm.
But what if we do? It
sounds like a whole
it's
thing.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it is the final episode of the year, which means it is our year in review episode.
Mhm.
For any newer listeners, when we used to do Nerds Without Pants, we used to do like this. It was like the state of the generation, where we more talked about like, kind of how we felt about the current generation, and if we were close to next gen, kind of look forward to that. There will be some of that in here tonight for sure, but
Sure.
this is more of just kind of a look back over the year, some of the bigger news stories and like kind of topics, because we're not necessarily a newsy podcast, but we do keep up on this stuff, so it's worth talking about. And then
I haven't been
we'll
keeping
also-
up as much this year, but like it didn't seem like anything like crazy happened really. Like nothing.
Oh no, there was crazy stuff all the time,
I'm
Justin.
sure.
It's just, but it was like kind of muted, I think, because so I know that there were still like crazy layoffs this year.
Sure. Yeah.
But they seemed front loaded, and I don't know if that's just because the AI conversation kind of took the oxygen out of the room for the layoff
that's been a
conversation.
big thing, but like that's been a big thing for like everything. Like
It has. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that I feel that like that kind of might have steamrolled over reporting on
Right.
layoffs. So I don't know. Like, so one of the first things that I have here is talking about Xbox making every wrong move wherever possible.
That's true.
And I know that they did start the year off with like some massive layoffs, and then they followed it up with some more massive layoffs this year, which is just kind of unfathomable to me.
Yeah.
When your parent company Microsoft is like, I think they're the first $1 trillion company. I forget forget who. I think there's a couple now, but I want to say that they got there first. I might be wrong on that.
I don't know.
They're definitely in that realm.
They're pretty big. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
And like record setting profits and this and that. And
I mean, everything has windows just about. So
yeah. My house has windows. My car has windows.
That's fair.
Yeah.
They all do.
I'm wearing glasses, which are like little windows.
They are little windows. Yeah.
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 That was the worst gag. That was bad even for me.
Well, sometimes we try.
Sometimes we try.
Yeah.
And fail.
And fail. What
Just
are you gonna
like
do?
just like Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know that they tried all that much this year, but they sure did fail. It was a year of failure for them.
Okay, just games wise, what did they put out this year? They put out Avowed at
Games
the
wise,
beginning.
they did really well. I will say that.
Possibly. They put out Avowed.
There was Avowed, there was Outer Worlds 2, there was
Uh-huh.
Doom.
Doom was pretty like well regarded, right?
Yeah.
The other two like kind of came and went. Really?
But they weren't like
they were
disasters,
fine. They
right?
weren't
Like,
disasters. No, I'll give
Yeah.
them that. Yeah, they were fine. Like,
yeah. There were some good like Game Pass gets, right? They had Expedition 33 on there.
Sure.
They had
Yeah, that
Hollow
was
Knight
big.
Silk
that
Song.
was big. Yeah.
They
both
got like
big games.
smaller games like The Altars was one of my favorite ones this year.
Yeah, sure.
In that respect, they did just fine.
Mm-hmm.
The rapid move towards publishing their stuff on other consoles almost day and date at this point, like
Yeah.
I totally understand them wanting to diversify and like put
I
stuff
do.
out on the competing console after like a window of exclusivity, but it's some of them are like day and date now, and then
Yeah.
others it's like a very small window. Like
Yeah.
Indiana Jones made it to PlayStation 5 way faster than I was expecting it to.
Yeah. Outer Worlds was like pretty much release date. It was out on there, if I remember correctly.
I think
Doom, I'm
so.
pretty sure was the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exclusivity wise, they don't. I don't even feel like they're doing that anymore. I think they're just like, no, it's just it just comes out everywhere now. Like, I don't know if that's the worst move, but I don't know what the hell they're doing anymore.
I don't think they know what the hell they're doing, and
yeah.
that's kind of the conclusion I've come to, and I've said this on like before in the past on the show, is that I think that there's what Xbox wants to do and there's what Microsoft wants to do,
Mhm.
and those things are not in harmony with each other, and they're also not talking to each other about that stuff.
No.
But I'm not sure where the decisions are coming from, because to me it seems like, okay, we're moving towards Xbox getting out of the console market, and we're going to go the Sega route, and we're just going to be a developer and publisher.
That's
and
what it seems like.
that's fine, right? Like in that context, the everything is an Xbox marketing campaign makes sense, and it's kind of brilliant.
Honestly, if that's the route they're going, that's not a bad idea. It's
But that's not what they're saying.
that's not what they're saying. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, it feels like that's what they're going towards. Cause I like, honestly, at this point, I feel like that would be the smartest move they can make, really. Is just like, yeah, we make games and you can play them on your Windows PC, and we have a nice way to play them, and it's this like Xbox app thing. And if you pay a little bit, you can play some of this stuff, just by paying the subscription price, and we have all this stuff. Because a lot of average people will just, go that route because it says Xbox. That's the thing they maybe recognize, and you could just do that. It's
Mhm.
easy. And if you want to do Game Pass on other consoles and shit like that, you could probably do that too.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. But then they'll be like, then all of a sudden they'll come out and be like, no, we're gonna make new hardware. We swear, we're gonna do it.
And they did make new hardware this year also, which was that ridiculously overpriced portable that
just
also
gonna
seems
say
to be a brick.
They put that out, yeah.
They put that out, but then also what they've said, and I've got another story about this come like later on, but they're saying that they are working on like this incredible leap in technology for next gen that is going to be a curated piece of premium hardware, and it's like that's the wrong direction that everybody is trying to go towards, and I don't understand why. Well, I mean, part of it I do understand why. It's just because like everything's getting more expensive.
Sure.
It seems that we have, I forget the name of that principle. Every listener is going to correct me on it as soon as this comes out, but the thing where the chipset gets smaller every iteration, and so you can kind of double the power of stuff over time.
Sure.
We're no longer achieving that with tech. So I get that it's probably not feasible to make cheaper, smaller consoles that are also more powerful
Right.
for, with each iteration.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that we necessarily need to be like still trying to hammer as much like horsepower into the new stuff as we can and jack the price up, because I'll talk about it in a little bit. Like, it's good. Next gen is going to be unattainable for most people, I think.
Yeah, probably. Well, let them learn the hard way, I say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at this point.
But I feel like they have been learning the hard way, and they're just not. They're not
Let
learning.
them really learn the hard way.
Right.
Yeah.
And, part of it I do think is not Xbox fault. Part of it is Microsoft's thing, where it's like, one of the things that I heard this year was Microsoft, right? Big M was not pleased with the rate of return for the Activision Blizzard
right.
buyout.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you just bought them. The video game industry takes time. Yeah. And it was like a $70 billion deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you expect it to make a profit off of a $70 billion deal in a year and a half.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, this Call of Duty, that's what everybody wants to play. So why is not everybody playing it? Or, I mean, they are, but that's not making the money we thought it would.
Right.
And it's, yeah.
and part of that is Game Pass, right? Like,
yeah, sure.
The part of that is the way Game Pass is implemented, and I've been saying this kind of since the beginning, and I've always understood why they did it the way they did it when they announced it. It's because they were so far behind; it made sense to do it this way. But I've always felt that putting all of your first party games on their day and date was just a dead end.
Yeah.
Because you're missing out on massive game sales, right? It reminded me of when WWE Network started up, and I remember CM Punk saying this, because he said that like the wrestlers, especially like the upper card people, would get like a nice payday from a pay-per-view card, because of the way that was structured. He was like, pay-per-view comes rolled in with your $10 a month subscription now, right? Like where do we get paid, right? And I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like, I could understand if you got access to the pay-per-view like a month or two after they aired, and they were still doing the live pay-per-view at the $50 or whatever, like they always did, but that wasn't the case. And I don't even know how that's structured anymore. I know the network's gone, but there's kind of a reason why it's gone, and that's probably why.
I mean, I think it's still like on Peacock now, right? Like, I think that's how you watch them all now on WWE stuff. I don't even know anymore.
But are you still paying for the? Because I want to say that John paid for a pay-per-view that we watched at my house.
I mean, I definitely paid for a pay-per-view from AEW. But I'm sure you can do it for WWE. I don't actually know how it works anymore. I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah. So there's that aspect of it, right? It devalued all of what is under the like internal Xbox stuff, right? But I do think that if you take those games out, like Game Pass is still a really great deal. But I think the way that they, because they did this year, they did actually do it to where like only if you're like the tippy toppy member do you get the first party stuff at launch. I think that doing it mid-generation was the wrong way to do that. I think that you have to do that at the launch of a new system. That's when you can restructure like your whole like subscription operation and stuff like that.
But also they're coming out in parity with the PlayStation 5, so any restructure then goes under the microscope against your competition, so that's kind of tough too, because any change like that, immediately people are going to be like, oh, well, now they're doing this, and I don't like that, so maybe I'll just go the PlayStation route or something like that. I don't know. It's tough,
you mean
man.
like with next gen? Well,
yeah, when because that's what you're talking about, right? When they should have restructured this when the Xbox Series X came out, right?
Well, they should have either done it back then, or they should have waited until.
Okay, that's what I mean. I okay.
Yeah.
If they waited to do it then, that would make sense. But I don't know. At this point, I think they're stupid if they put out another console. I'll be honest.
No,
I do too. I think they're they're so far behind now that there's just, I don't see the point in it. I just don't, you know.
And then you've also got, this is going to be a big thing we talk about later in this episode, but you've got the AI mandate from Microsoft on high, like trickling into every single thing that Xbox is having to do, right? So, and that's the thing that they're being ordered to do.
Sure.
That's why I was talking about like with like the Black Ops 7 stuff. I was like, it makes sense to me that they were, if they're being, you know, ordered to use it, they at least like shunted it off into stuff that's relatively negligible. They didn't let it creep into like the main game or anything like that. But
right.
Apparently there's like there was like one game there was like some Xbox showcase that I totally skipped like towards the end of the year.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure. I didn't watch all of them either. So yeah.
It was like an Xbox partner thing, and there was like one game that people were like really high on that apparently it came out that like, oh, this whole thing was made with like not the whole thing, but like it was a game designed to show how Gen AI could be used to make like a high quality game. It's like a 3D pseudo sequel to that game Fist, F-I-S-T, with the rabbit with the giant like mechanical backpack arm.
I randomly remember that exists. Yeah.
But this is like a fully like third person like 3D thing instead of like a 2.5D game.
Sure.
But it was like, oh, okay, yeah. So they're pushing even harder than really anybody in the industry for because they have to, right? Like all of these AI people, they're like, we're gonna make it work. It has to, because otherwise we're done.
Yeah.
And as a result, also we're done at the royal we.
Yeah.
When it goes. So
the fascinating thing, if I remember right, there was somebody was talking about the math of like how much like certain AI things have to make for them to make profit because of the investment, and it's like somewhere in like the 900 billion range profit wise that they have to come up with to pay like their bills for things. It's like, that's insane. But
yeah, it
then
sounds
again, a lot of nowadays, a lot of fucking cities are just like, yeah, we'll just come into here, it'll be great, you can build it here, and we'll just give you the money to do it or whatever. I don't know how the fuck that's all working, but it's crazy, man.
Yeah, and then those cities are experiencing like blackouts and brownouts and like lack of water and all sorts of.
We got one. I don't know if it's an AI data center, but there's a data center going up near me. I don't know what exactly it is for. Nobody in town knows, but it is coming up around here, and most people are like, I don't know about this. And that's kind of it was and it's in the place of where like a major I would say a major place of employment used to be, like a staple of the town. Like it was like a big reason people moved to this town in the first place was because, hey, there's this giant factory here, and it's, you know, it was like a car factory, and now it is going to be this. All of that is torn down. It's fascinating, but yeah.
Awesome news for you as a brand new homeowner.
Yeah, no, well, nothing I can do.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to come for us all anyway at some point. Yeah.
I, for one, embrace our new robot overlords.
Trying to think. I mean, there was like so much shit with Xbox this year that it's kind of hard to even like really parse it. Other than it was just I guess that's the other thing is that the more news that comes out, the more I do think that Microsoft is looking to shed themselves of Xbox. And I don't know if that means that they shutter. I don't think that means that they shutter it. I think they're looking to spit it off to somebody else. Because so like one of the big things that I just saw today is that so like, you know, everybody's doing their like, hey, look at all of your stats that you know, for engaging with this platform. So like, you know, PlayStation does it every year, Steam does it, Nintendo does it, they do. Spotify of course does it and shit like that. But
big thing with them, Xbox
isn't doing one this year.
Nice.
And it's
Good for
like,
them.
oh yeah, like there's no resources for any of this shit. The overlords don't give a shit, and it really does to me feel like they're just itching to like find a reason to cut this loose from.
I could see them trying to sell that off, I guess, but I don't know who would want it.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right?
That's a big thing. Like I don't really know who would want to buy it, because I mean, other than Call of Duty and that aspect of it, but
all
like,
the IP is strong,
oh,
but
very much so. Like you have that, you have Elder Scrolls, you have a lot of
yeah.
stuff.
But then you also have the kind of the hardware albatross around your neck, and like,
yeah,
do you feel compelled to continue trying to make a go of the console market, or do you drop the hardware and just go
I think
third party?
I think what they ought to just, I mean, I've said it already in this very podcast, like I think they just go like a weird, hey, this is the Windows game route, like this is our little branding. You click this little icon over here, and look, there's the Xbox games, and like just transfer that over to, you know, because like I think you have to have an Outlook account, which is stupid as fuck, but you have to have an Outlook account to get on Windows, and I'm pretty sure most of the time that's the same as your Xbox account, at least I would assume. So maybe you link those two, or find a way to link that stuff if it's different. I don't fucking know. But anyway, like move the libraries over to your Windows stuff. That just make that division, and like I said, put it on, you know, PlayStation 5 and Switch 2, where people, you know, seem to be playing more games, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, but I just don't think that Microsoft even wants that. Like, I think they just want to be out of the games business.
Oh, they could,
like, you know,
they might
wholeheartedly.
I mean, but you still have the name, and they could, and I mean, it becomes a fun little icon, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, hey, here's this recognizable games bit. And you can go on here and play Peggle or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, like simple stuff. Oh, here's where Solitaire is. It's on the Xbox thing. All right, cool.
Well, next year is the 25th anniversary of Xbox, and if it's not like a huge like celebration from, you know, beginning to end of year, like I think that's very telling. If they're not doing like all sorts of like amazing stuff to try to like win fans back or this and that. Now, I will say that at the Game Awards, there was this kind of weird trailer with this janitor kind of walking through Xbox and cleaning up different stations, kind of highlighting the different games that they have.
Sure.
And there was like one part where it was like the Gears of War section that said opening 2026, right? Because we know that Emergence Day is coming. But there was also a Halo one that said opening 2026. So that was kind of their first indication there's a new, well, I don't know if it's a new thing, though, because there are rumors that they're remaking Halo 1. Or no, it's not rumors. They announced that.
I was going to say, I feel like they did. Yeah, I think they did.
Wait, did that already come out? Because that's coming out for PlayStation.
I was going to say, I don't think it did.
I don't think it did.
No.
I remember people being like, who is this for? And I was like, it's for PlayStation owners. That's mainly who it's for. And of course, it's going to be on Xbox, because why wouldn't you throw it on Xbox? But like, that is 100% for lifelong PlayStation people who have never touched Halo.
Right.
It's like, here's a shiny new version of Halo that you can play. It's not for people who have played Halo in the past.
See what all the hype was about.
Exactly.
You said, you know, win back fans. I don't even know how they do that at this point.
There's nostalgia plays that they can make, and there's still a lot of like really good games that they have like in the chamber that we're waiting to come out. And there's always like new IP that they could announce that would be like, whoa, shit. But
short of like Elder Scrolls, I mean, Halo's okay. People get sort of excited about that, but the last X amount of those have kind of shit the bed in a way that I think there's a lot less excitement there. I don't know even about like Gears, like that seemed to kind of just taper off at a certain point. Like,
yeah, and I personally think that going to a prequel after a cliffhanger of Gears 5. Like, I think that was like the wrong play to make.
Yeah, because you played Gears 5. That's the thing,
right?
I don't know how
a
many
lot of people didn't.
That's just it. So they're like, let's give people the guys they want. You know,
right.
like that makes sense when you think about it.
It does.
I know. It's not your favorite move, and I get it.
But but there's Fable on the way, and there's like the next Forza game, right? But then also like, okay, so this year Obsidian released 3 games, right? They released Avowed, they released Outer Worlds 2, and they released the early access of Grounded 2. Okay,
right. So, I forgot about Grounded. Yeah.
Now I do think that games are being announced too early these days, but also Obsidian seems to be like really efficient at working on their games. So
seems that way. Yeah.
If it was like, hey, Fallout New Vegas 2 coming from Obsidian,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
and that's that stuff. Something like that. You need a big thing to come out. Like you need a big announcement or something that's like, hey, this is actually coming out.
Right.
And I don't know if they have it.
Back in the day when we were still trying to like really compete as far as like console platforms, like you would make the deals to be like, hey, that new Star Wars Old Republic game that got announced, that's coming to Xbox.
Right.
Because the original game was an Xbox game.
Yeah.
We made the deal to make this an Xbox exclusive, at least for the first like 6 months to a year or whatever. But people don't really nobody's really like making those deals anymore. It's like they're kind of relying on the studios that they own internally to give the exclusive stuff. And that's
because PlayStation did so well with that.
Yeah.
You know, like they kind of started that trend, in my opinion, where it was like, oh, look what these PlayStation games that would, you know, be made by Sony Studios or whatever and come out and be massive like blockbuster things, and people liked that.
Yeah, there's that. I think there's also examples of when people do make the big exclusive deal and then it doesn't pan out for them. So like Final Fantasy 16 was that. Although I would argue that Sony didn't really do a good job of like putting any muscle behind that game. They kind of just left it all to Square to do, which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah, Xbox played around with like the timed exclusive things, didn't they? Like with like Tomb Raider and shit like that.
Yeah, and that and also that came out during the Xbox One, so
I'm just saying back in the day they tried to mess with that stuff.
But that, I mean, what I was going to say is that they were already kind of dead in the water when that system launched, so that didn't really move the needle.
I know, but they tried. They tried.
And the other thing I think also is games are so expensive to make now is that for people that aren't owned by one of the big three, they're like, why would we sign this exclusivity deal when we could just launch on all 3 consoles at the same time and have and PC and have like the widest possible net for our audience, right? Yeah. So I'm sure there is some sort of math where it makes sense to make a deal like that these days, but it's got to be some sort of ridiculous number.
Like I said, I don't know if Microsoft does want to cut the Xbox thing. I mean, who would you sell? Like, how would you get rid of it? Would you sell the studios individually, like piecemeal?
Hard to say. Yeah. It kind of depends, right? Like, I don't know how something like that would go. And these days, and it's did I put it on here? I didn't, but I guess it's worth noting, right? I'll talk about it later, but I'll mention it here is that like, it's also, there's not a lot of people that have the money to buy something as big as even just the individual studios under Xbox,
those were huge acquisitions. The fucking ZeniMax, Bethesda thing was huge. That was massive at the time, and then they fucking bought Activision. Like that was ridiculous. That was the biggest one at its time. Now maybe we're looking at one that's slightly bigger or as big, but the fucking Warner Brothers thing or whatever the hell that is. What's going on with that?
Well, yeah, and that's at least, but that's not
a different thing.
But you're right.
I know, different thing. I'm just saying, like at the time, like I think that was like the biggest one,
just media deal.
Yeah, just media deal at the time. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, because I would say that like probably the smallest like studio that they bought. Well, I guess Ninja Theory, but like Ninja Theory and Obsidian are probably the smallest
They
ones
had
that
a
they have, but
couple
those are
smaller
still
ones.
pretty big. Like
Yeah.
when it in terms of like impact and
Yeah.
stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
As far as that stuff goes, I mean, you also have Obsidian. You also have there's even smaller. There's like ones that were just like I fucking forgot about, but I think they closed them down now. The one that made that one. Oh god. Oh, I played it. It wasn't very good. The one that had like almost the weird realistic art style thing. It was all like like almost like a visual novel. Fuck, I'll never remember what the hell that thing was called.
Oh, did they close that studio?
I don't know. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
What happened to that? That was like tiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was a Microsoft exclusive thing.
Yeah. And Compulsion is one of their smaller ones, but they just had South of Midnight this year, so
yeah.
Which it might be their most successful game since they've been around.
South of Midnight came out. Yes.
Yeah.
That was, I guess, an exclusive, but I think that came out for PlayStation, didn't it?
It's coming to PlayStation.
Oh,
they just announced that at the Game Awards.
All right, well, there you
I
go.
think that's coming next year.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the people working there, right? Because it's a lot of like creative, passionate people, and also just the legacy of especially once they bought Activision Blizzard. And that's the thing that I thought was so ridiculous with all the layoffs was you've got more IP than you have studios at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of laying these people off because like they're redundant or whatever, like just let people look through the catalog and start pitching shit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's been so frustrating these last few years to me is that we've got into this situation where the people holding the purses in the video games industry, they don't want to spend the money to make the video games,
right?
But they want to sell the video games.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't do one without the other. Like,
yeah,
isn't that like one of the most basic things of business? Is like you have to spend money to make money. Like
you would. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and now they just want free money. They just want to like
basically.
They just want to make something that is like a money generating thing.
That and some of that might have started from like mobile gaming stuff.
Yeah.
Where like, like I don't know the cost of making Candy Crush, right?
Oh, but it's got to be minimal.
I'm pretty sure it's not super crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then it turns out it just prints money or whatever the fuck for however long. And they see that model and they're like, why can't you do this? It's sad. It sucks. Really does.
I have this like image of like an office with like 10 people in it, and hopefully they get paid really well.
Sure.
But they're just like, it's time for us to do like this month's thing, and they do that month's thing. And meanwhile, like the numbers, like they're just constantly like raking in cash, and no one really pays attention.
I mean,
them.
I'm sure whoever like actually like started that game, and I don't know for sure. I do not look into that, but I'm sure whoever like started that game just sold out for however long ago. It's just like,
that was King.
No, I'm done. That's it. Yeah, I know King. Yeah.
So.
But I'm exactly. It's wild, man.
Yeah, because I think King got purchased by Activision for some ungodly amount of money.
Yes, and that was like one of Microsoft's main reasonings for wanting to buy Activision, or at least one of their main big excuses for wanting to buy it, because we wanted to get in the mobile game market.
Yeah.
And
the funny thing is, you don't hear them talking. Well, you don't really hear them talking about anything these days, which is very telling.
Yeah.
Right. Like they're not even really talking about engagement anymore, which is that's one of the things that this is one of my big pet peeves these days is like the way that we're trying to measure success or failure of a video game these days. But I'll talk about that a little later. I guess closing out this segment is just, it's very bleak for Xbox.
Yeah, I've been on record before on podcasts of our past where being like, oh man, Microsoft, I feel like they're doing some good things and they got some good ideas and they're gonna be, and like this past like couple years I just like I don't know what they're doing anymore. Yeah,
there was a while there where, because let's not beat around the bush. Even before the Xbox One came out, like that was a shit show. Like that Don Matrick like that Xbox One reveal presentation, and then the way Don Matrick was handling the reaction to it was like the worst possible shit you could do. And then when Phil Spencer kind of came in, like, I thought they were doing everything that was smart to like try to turn things around. I thought Game Pass was smart. I thought the half generation refreshes were smart.
Yeah,
because I went in that generation. I went from the PlayStation 4 being my lead console to the Xbox One X being my lead console.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, oh, and now you're acquiring these studios, which you got these exclusives coming.
There's so much potential here. Like, and they definitely got impatient at points, and a lot of other people looking at it were like very impatient. Like, well, Xbox needs to do something now, and it's like, but you got to let these things that they just bought like give them time to put stuff out. Like, it's not. This isn't an instant thing. And
it took longer than they would have liked, but who could have seen the pandemic and the supply chain stuff around the corner, right? So
nothing they could do there. Yeah.
The last few years of Nerds Without Pants, I was like, I know it's coming. Like, at some point, Xbox are going to have all these incredible exclusives that are going to kind of blow us away. And like they haven't. Well, I don't know how they haven't blown me away as much as I was hoping they would. They really. But they've been solid. But and I think we're also kind of leads into the next thing is that it continues to be like a great time if you like to play video games. It's a bad time if you make video games or if you write about video games. But we're at a point, and it sucks because especially in this year where like all of my favorite games were like 6s and 7s.
Right.
Is that nobody has time for 6s or 7s.
No.
At this point, people don't have times for 8s or 9s. No. Everybody's just looking for 10s, which I think is, I don't know how this happened. Like the expectation and the bar has just been raised so high in the consumer's eyes that, you have people talking about like, oh, I don't know if this incredible game is worth paying money for.
I think a lot of that comes from there just being so many video games now.
Yes, that's definitely a part of it.
I mean, and a lot of them don't even get covered, So it's you kind of rely on the marketing machine to be like, hey, okay, this one looks good, and B, like somebody going, no, seriously, I played it, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have that, it's a whole thing. I don't know. It's a weird time to. It's just weird.
It is, it's harder than ever to predict like what's gonna take off, right?
Yeah.
I still look back at Elden Ring and I'm like, I don't know how that happened.
Well, I do. I mean, Dark Souls had just like this momentum to it that like and FromSoft period just had a momentum to it that had enough people get excited about whatever they were going to put out next. And then the word of mouth from all that, and then people played it, and other people watched that people play it and went, oh, this looks like a thing.
Well, sure, but momentum, yes, but momentum of like, hey, $3 to $6 million 3 to 6 million sales on their games, and then all of a sudden 40 million sales, right?
Yeah. No, it's a big leap. Don't get me wrong.
It broke containment in a way that I just never would have fathomed. And there's games where it's like, holy shit, that thing sold, 12, 13 million units. And because we're still at a place where like, despite what like the Square Enixes of the world would say, like, selling, 1 to 5 million units of a game is still really good.
Big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it depends on, how much
budget
did you sink into
stuff.
it, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this yesterday, actually, because I booted up Expedition 33 on the PlayStation 5 just to kind of give me a refresher before we go into Game of the Year.
Sure.
And they did announce that like it was like a $10 million budget for that game. But in the back of my head, I'm still like, but it took y'all 6 years to make it, which is right along the same amount of time that other games were made. And I'm like, I hope that you paid your people well enough. And I know it was like a smaller team than other games, but I still kind of worry like like, were you just really cutting corners on that part of it or something like that? Because it took the same amount of time as any other like big release. So that was kind of weird to me.
I guess you'd have to compare it to the budget of like a bigger studio too. You know what I mean?
No, and that's kind of what I'm saying is that the budget is small compared
Yeah.
to like a Final Fantasy, right? Which
Right.
I think it did
Sure.
take them like 6 years to make Rebirth,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. That's
which
about
obviously is a much bigger budget game.
Yeah.
But you would think that it being a smaller scoped game for a smaller amount of money that they would have finished it in a you know, it would have been like a 4-year game or a 3-year game or something like that. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I just find it weird.
Yeah. I feel like in the end they made their money back, you know. I don't know,
they
you know,
absolutely
very much did, yeah.
To the point that when I fired up the PlayStation 5 version, I was like, oh, you haven't fixed some of these things that I thought for sure you would have fixed after this phenomenal response and stuff like that. It's just like little, like it was like this, I had the exact same thoughts in the beginning of that game that I did the first time around, where I was like, why am I having to go back into and like fix these options 5 times? Like, oh, because you wanted me to confirm the changes on every one of these pages individually.
Yeah.
And that's why it feels like I'm going into the options and changing everything and going out, and it's like, oh, it didn't stick. It's like, why didn't it stick? And it's like, oh, I had to hit accept. It's like, okay, let me do that. And then it's like, wait, it still didn't stick. Oh, because it only affected that one tab. It's like, why did you do stuff like, you know, it's weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know you've been down this year, but like there was something that was said on week 2 of our Game of the Year deliberations that's really stuck with me, which is someone said that without knowing who the panel is, like who the 4 people or 3 to 4 people we, you know, for the final list are, like there could be potentially like 4 completely different top 10s.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to something kind of really special about this year, which is that while you and I may have either bounced off or not have been as high on a lot of like the consensus huge games,
sure,
like we still found games that we really enjoyed this year.
I did.
And some of them were like smaller games. Some of them were games, like I said, for me that were not as highly regarded by critics or consumers. But I was like, no, these are like diamonds in the rough for me, right?
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And I think you know, we've just been kind of on a roll the last few years, and it continues to be this weird thing where it's like, but the industry itself feels like it's dying. It's
weird. Yeah.
Because like game sales are still like really high, and that's kind of what I was getting at with like the Elden Ring thing, right? Is that it's hard to predict what'll be like a smash hit. Expedition 33 is a perfect example.
Yeah, that
game looks way too avant-garde to have become as popular as it was.
Honestly, yeah, I'll agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah, it's a different world now. Like something, if something catches on in the streamer realm, like that advertising alone sometimes can carry it, and the word of mouth and all that stuff. And yeah, I
still don't think that Baldur's Gate 3 would have been the success it was if it wasn't for that bear fucker trailer.
That was huge. It really was.
That really went viral, and people were like, what is this? And then combined with, I mean, you could also say that like it was kind of already set up for success because D&D has become so popular in the mainstream since the pandemic.
Helped a lot. Yeah.
Fired up a new game of that also because I was like, okay, I think they're done now. Like
it's very possible. Yeah. Hard to ever tell, but yeah.
And I did find there was I don't know if this option was here before, but I tweaked some of the settings where I was like, I think this might help, because there was like one where it was like someone to up the proficiency rolls.
Oh,
because you know, my thing is just like, I was like, I'm gonna hit enough critical ones because that's just what I do.
Yeah,
that there will still be plenty of places for my characters to fail.
Yeah,
but I would like that failure rate to not be 72%.
Sure.
Because it was just so demoralizing every time that I play that game, where it's like, I really need this to succeed. Oh nope, that didn't succeed.
Just save scum like crazy. That's always my strategy in that game. Just before you talk to anybody, just save the game constantly.
Yeah,
redo it till you get what you want. God damn it.
I also, but you know, and I mean, I know you don't come from this background either, but you've moved slowly into it, which is that I don't come from that PC era of quick save, right? Like, I just don't think about it.
I do it. I do it a lot now. Like, Baldur's Gate got me to do that, and I do it. I find myself doing it all the time in Cyberpunk before I know, like, because I know that game pretty well now. I've almost played it four times all the way fucking through, and like, so I know when like a major like conversation point is coming up, and sometimes I'll just quick save right before it and then just fuck with the game to see what happens. Like there was a part in Phantom Liberty, it was like a side quest, and I read a thing you could do, and I was like, I want to try that and just see how it goes, because it's like there's like a journalist, and she takes you down into this bunker, and then a guy shows up, and then like I read what like you can, it's like, actually the best thing to do here is just murder both of them. And I was like, I want to try it. Let's do it. And it's like, actually, I'm going to leave that like that, because that's kind of cool. You get like 2 iconics out of it. I don't care what happens in the story. They're both lying. They both suck anyway. It's fine. It's fine to murder them. I don't care if Johnny Silverhand is disappointed. He'll live.
Right. Well, he won't, because
he's already dead. Well, he might. You never know. Yeah. I've never given him my body at the end. Maybe I'll try that this time.
I think I actually don't remember what my choice was at the end. I remember the ending cutscene, which was V going to do a job to rob that casino satellite that they keep advertising.
Yeah, that's, I forget what that ending is called, but yeah, that's like the Afterlife Legend ending.
I think what it was is that I was planning on giving Johnny my body, but then I had Johnny like say no at the end, because I felt that like that was his arc, was that he went from being like this selfish prick that just wanted to come back to be like, no, I actually care about V, and I've had my time. Yeah, I think that's what I did.
I can't remember which route you have to go to get that ending too. There's two you can go. There's the secret, the hidden ending, and that's the way I've always gotten it, but I think it's like you have to have Rogue go with you at the end, because they're all tied to who you take with you at the end. It's been a while. Yeah. Anyway, the Cyberpunk not important. Anyway.
Yeah.
Video games. What else happened?
And now, Video Game Masterpiece Theater, with your host, Thaddeus Whippleshire. Good evening. I am Thaddeus Whippleshire. What is the nature of good versus evil? What happens when two opposing forces are pitted against one another time and time again? That is what we'll explore tonight in our final performance of the season. From 2005's Resident Evil 4, we have the vocal jousting over radio between the dashing Leon S. Kennedy and the Lilliputian tyrant Salazar. Playing Salazar is the returning dynamo, sexy Martin Van Buren. And in his debut performance as Leon, we have the charismatic Colt Mangum, who you may remember as a former gaming coach and influencer. Enjoy. Hunnigan, what happened? The transmission got cut off. Salazar, how'd you...
We jacked the line, baby! We don't want you telling anyone any unnecessary information.
Where's Ashley?
So she fell into one of our wonderful traps. So yeah, we'll make sure we find her. Don't you worry about her.
As Leon's quest progresses, he finds himself in the sewers, and the banter between him and Salazar begins to take shape. Let us watch.
Oh, yes. I let our miserable insects out for some exercise down in the sewer.
Thanks. That should keep me company, 'cause boredom kills me.
I look forward to our next encounter in another life.
Later, Salazar revels in what he believes to be his moment of triumph over Leon, leading him into a deadly garden. Thrilled to the tauntings of a madman who clearly is beginning to enjoy his verbal tete-a-tetes with the intrepid government agent.
Mr. Kennedy, still alive, I see. So, do you like my garden?
I see you've managed to work in a little of your twisted taste here, too.
Sagacious as I am, even I get lost here sometimes. Even if it takes your whole life, you'll never get out. Do you know that no one dies without a cause? You will satisfy the stomachs of my cute pets. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to tie up a few loose ends like chasing down a couple of rats.
2 rats? If one's Luis, who's the other? They're an intruder besides me? Once Leon finds the wayward Ashley, thus completing the first part of his mission, Salazar cannot help but interfere in their conversation. One might imagine a hint of jealousy in the Napoleonic castle manager.
Oh, what a touching moment we have here.
All spoiled thanks to your interruption. Why don't you do us all a favor and leave us before the audience gets pissed off?
You're nothing but an extra in my script, baby. So don't get too carried away. Your biggest scene is over.
I don't ever remember being a part of your crappy script.
Well then, why don't you show me what a first-class script is like through your own actions?
As with many tales of damsels in distress, the story would be lacking without said damsel returning to the hands of the villains, so the hero can make another daring rescue attempt. But before that, Salazar can't help but taunt Leon once again.
I wonder if you can see me, Mr. Kennedy.
If you scratch her, I'll break your bones.
First, we shall see if you can make it this far. I'll be waiting.
In their final encounter, Salazar loses his composure after Leon utters a line that would forever endear himself in the hearts and minds of video game enthusiasts the world over.
So maybe you have 9 lives, but it doesn't matter now, Mr. Kennedy. I've sent my right hand to dispose of you.
Your right hand comes off?
Say whatever you please. Die, you worm!
This has been another installment of Video Game Masterpiece Theater with your host, Thaddeus Whippleshire.
And I'm looking forward to 2026 as well, right? Like there's definitely some great looking games that are coming. There was actually, it was funny. There was a trailer. I think it was mistitled, but it was like release date window trailer for Showa American Story, which was one of my most anticipated games of this year. And it's a little worrisome because the trailer is almost identical to the original trailer, except with a couple extra bits. And then it says 2026. And I'm like, that is not a release window.
Well, it's coming sometime in that year. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We hope.
And I'm like, man, okay, we'll see. Because ostensibly that's one of my most anticipated games for 2026. But now I'm worried.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have anything new to show about it. And that's also a really vague.
Pretty vague, yeah.
Days, like obviously 2026. I didn't think it was coming this year still.
Is that more of an indie-ish game? Like, I'm not saying like indie, but like who's making that game exactly?
It might be a new Japanese studio.
Okay.
I'm expecting to enjoy it in the way that I enjoy, like, I mean, this is going to sound harsher than it is, but
Yeah.
it might be in the vein of like an Earth Defense Force or an Onichanbara, but with more stuff going on with it. It just looks so ridiculous that I want to give it. No, actually, okay, that's too cruel. It kind of looks like a Suda 51 joint.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
So
get
kind
behind
of in that realm. Like I wouldn't have been, if you told me that Suda was involved somehow, that wouldn't have surprised me.
Right.
He's not, but it just seems like his type of game.
I get you. Yeah. I wasn't sure exactly who was putting that out.
I'm not either.
Which makes it like, I guess, more on the indie scale of things, which I guess that's how a lot of those work, where like they'll just kind of like, we're shooting for this, but we don't know. Like,
right.
I guess recent example being like Unbeatable was supposed to come out I don't know how many different times, and they just kept pushing that fucking thing back. But
yeah.
Finally
out though.
Yeah.
I had played I had attempted to play the demo. I never talked about this, but I had downloaded the demo on PlayStation, Justin, and I failed the instructions so hard that the game didn't know what to do.
That sounds
like
right.
It kind of broke the demo. There's something about the layout of like the way they want you to press the buttons for the music parts that does not work with my brain.
Yeah.
And I pressed the wrong buttons for every single
I did
input.
that for a while too. I think I might have done this just about the same, and then I just kind of brute forced my way through it. And now I'm playing the actual game, and it's fine.
Yeah.
More on that previous episode.
Right. Yeah. They already know.
Yeah.
I don't at this point.
I'll get into it. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. I still feel really positive about video games, but one thing I wanted to talk about was that I do think the doomsaying is getting out of control.
Yeah, you're always going to have that.
Yeah, but it's getting to like a weird thing, and I think people are looking. I think people are taking, man. Maybe look, there's a lot of reasons to just like take the glasses half empty route on anything these days. Like, don't get me like, I totally get it, but I think that you can look at almost any piece of data, and if you decide that you want to look at it as a negative, you can absolutely get a negative response from it. So one of the big things that was circulating towards the back half of the year was, reports are saying that people only buy like 2 to 3 games a year. Yeah. And it was reported as like some sort of like shocking metric that was like heralding the collapse of the video game industry. And I'm like, that's how it's always been for most people. Like, think back, maybe if you're listening to this and you're like in your early 20s, which maybe one day someone in that age bracket will listen to this show. I doubt it.
You never know.
I could see things being different for you growing up because games have become, video games, like the actual software themselves, are cheaper than they've ever been.
Sure.
So I could see a thing where if you were growing up, you were getting more than 1 to 2 games a year.
Possibly, but a lot of, this is even more younger generations. Younger generations is probably even less than that, because they have so many free-to-play games now that are like very competent.
And I'll get to that. But because I think with a lot of like younger gamers, and I can attest to this with my friend Blissy, who has a younger daughter who's just starting college, that just recently got into gaming over the last few years.
Cool.
Is that she will buy a lot of video games.
Yeah.
But then she plays like kind of a lot of either free to play games, or kind of like she gets into like a groove with like one game, and that's kind of her like hyper fixation.
Yeah.
But she will buy games just to kind of have them.
Yeah.
Sort of the way that we do. Yeah. For most of the audience, think back to growing up, right?
Yeah.
Did you not mainly get a game or 2 at Christmas and a game or 2 at your birthday, and that was pretty much about it?
Well, I'm a little bit of an extreme case because I was a hustler and a half when it came to video games.
Okay.
But no, you're right. It was about that, probably. Maybe a little over for me because that was like my thing, I guess.
Yeah. And I didn't even get that because we didn't celebrate Christmas or birthday. So I got all my consoles pretty late in, like, I got my original Nintendo a year before the Super Nintendo came out. And I got my Super Nintendo like right before the PlayStation came out.
Yeah.
But I would make deals with my mom, right? So it would be like a good example, when we got our first computer, I was like, well, and you know, I wish she had taught me better with money, because this line of thinking has brought, like, it continues to today.
This day. Yeah, I know.
Where I was like,
with you.
Well, if we're already charging the computer, putting these 2 games on there isn't really going to be that much more. And so that's how I got Final Fantasy 3 and Illusion of Gaia.
Sure. Yeah.
It was rare for me to get 2 brand new games at full price.
Right.
At the same time. But for the most part, that was like, I was renting, right? Because I'm still from the background of, like, rented 99% of the stuff that I played. And then once I started working, then that was a different story. But I would imagine that people listening to this are probably in that kind of same vein, right?
Yeah.
And and part of this is that I think I'm probably in more of a video gamer centric echo chamber, but I think people forget, right, is that, like, I have an estimate of the number of hardcore gamers in the world or in the country, right? And when I mean hardcore gamer, I mean enthusiasts who actually follow this industry and are up on all the shit. They know developers, they watch the Game Awards, they you know, listen to podcasts, they watch YouTubers and stuff like that. Those type of people.
Yeah.
I would hazard a guess that in the United States, it's well under 1 million people across the entire country.
I would not doubt that.
And then worldwide, it gets harder to quantify, because there's kind of like hidden markets that we have no idea about, just because of, like, the way things went. So, like, I know Brazil is like a huge video game market, but because consoles weren't really sold there for a long time, that's a weird thing to quantify. Same thing with China. Same thing with parts of the Middle East.
Right.
But even then, I'm saying, okay, let's say that it's like 7 million, like, hardcore gamers around the world.
Yeah.
That's still
like
a fraction of, like, the numbers when you're talking about a game like Elden Ring, right? Like those sales are coming from way different people than the people that you're thinking about, that are buying, you know, 5 to 20 games a year, depending on stuff, right? Depending on sales, or depending on this or that. So yeah, I think it's it makes total sense to me that most people are buying 2 to 3 games a year.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, your average person is probably going to buy the new Call of Duty most of the time. Like, that's every time I talk to somebody who like learns I played video games, it's always like, oh, Call of Duty, right? And I'm like, no, but but that's usually it, right?
Yeah.
So okay, well, that one, and then maybe one other one that's like a huge craze, or like
it's usually Call of Duty, and then the sport. It's usually Madden, right? Let's be
Madden or FIFA, depending on your country of origin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like that sort of thing. You're gonna get like your big 2 that you probably get every year.
Yeah, and then there's usually one, like, pretty big, like,
maybe
whatever.
Maybe that's your third one, and then and again, there's also the free to play market, which, you know, there's a lot of people that will just try something if it's free to play and just try it out. You know, that's a big market too.
And that's the other thing, right? Is the other thing of people freaking out about, the most playtime is on stuff of games that are years old. It's like Minecraft and Fortnite and Roblox and whatnot. And it's like, I mean, because those are ongoing games.
They're ongoing games, and they're huge social experiences.
Right.
Like, that's a big deal.
And if game sales were cratering, then I would understand that being more of a signal of something changing. But, like, the games are still selling, and it's like, even for me, someone who's very plugged in and plays a lot of video games in a year, every year on my PlayStation, the number one game is Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Because I play it every week for like at least like 4 hours.
For me, it's probably whatever weird RPG that I've just decided to play this year. Like this year, it's been Cyberpunk. That's what I've just been like. Yeah, I just want to go shoot dumb things and hack people's brains, and that's what I want to do for a little while.
Yeah.
Or Skyrim or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but we both bought and completed like many games.
That's
right?
what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and I think for most people these days, yeah, you probably are playing or buying your 2 to 3 games a year and playing those. And then in between those releases, you have your multiplayer or your free to play game that you're going back to,
or an old favorite that you want to brush off and play again because you like to play it,
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that if anything, that shows that there's more people that are really into games, right? Because it used to be the people who were buying the 2 to 3 games, it would be like they'd buy that one game and they would play that, and then their system would collect dust until that next game would come out, and they'd play that. And the system would collect dust, until the next thing. And now it's like, I think a lot of people are still buying 2 to 3 games, but they're also playing their systems way more in those in between times than ever before. And then I think, because I saw this way more this year, the thing that was really like pissing me off was using Steam numbers as a metric, like number of players, like concurrent players on Steam as like some sort of measure of success or failure.
Yeah.
Which I find funny because it's like that's completely disregarding people that are playing on PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox.
Yeah, just Steam.
Which are massive markets, right? And sure, you can there are certain comparisons that you can make that are interesting. I was pretty surprised that like Battlefield 6 was like in the hundreds of thousands of players, where Call of Duty on Steam was more in the tens of thousands of players. But at the same time, that also kind of makes sense to me because Call of Duty is kind of more of a console game.
Yeah, there's that for sure. Yeah, 100%. And Call of Duty wasn't that good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how people responded to like the multiplayer stuff. Like I never pay attention to that stuff.
And that's not our thing either.
Yeah.
But I know people really liked Battlefield. Like,
yes,
it had like, and maybe they bought Battlefield and not Call of Duty this year because that was the cool one. That's where all their friends were playing. So that's what they did. Which
is cool for Battlefield because I feel like that series has not really had like. I feel like the last 3 have been kind of well regarded, but all of them had like really troubling launches where it's like, oh, we're having to fix it over like the next like 6 months, and
the only one I remember like hearing about was Battlefield 1, like way back when that came out, and then after that I can't even remember the other ones. So
I just remember like the stories being like, oh, like it's got this problem, or it had all sorts of shit, and then over time it was like, oh, it's better now, and then
but it's too late.
Yeah. Where this one, it seems like it was actually kind of like
it was good out of the box,
firing on all cylinders out of the gate. Right. So good for them.
Good for them. Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of the doomsaying is really kind of overblown. At the same time, I personally would like to see like a general contraction of the industry. Kind of alluding to what you said earlier, it's like there's so many games out there right now, and I would like to see fewer games coming out.
I don't think you're going to see that though.
We're not.
I think our current way of doing things is like probably either I don't know how it's all going to shake out in the end, but like that massive like I just made this game and I'm a dude. And here's my game, and nobody pays attention to it, but it's here. It's taking up space. Is probably never going away.
Yeah. Especially with AI shit now, because now you're getting.
Oh God, yeah. Now it's too easy to make a game sometimes.
And we'll get to that. It's actually kind of the next thing I have on the docket, but
sure.
Well, actually, this is the next thing because I do think that there is a big exception to the doomsaying, which is while I still believe that video games as software, as just playing video games is cheaper than it's ever been because you've got a lot of free to play stuff. You've got games that go on sale all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you've got these various subscriptions, or, you know, like Mike Fallick was saying, you know, he was like, hey, like, I know you guys have been talking about like dropping Game Pass, but that's the only way that I can really engage with a lot of this stuff, because I can't afford to buy multiple AAA games in a year. So
very fair.
And it's like, yeah, like totally. And but the nice thing is that, yeah, if you've got like, you pay what, like $100 or $6, I don't even know what it is now.
I don't know either.
For the year, and then you get access to a bunch of shit throughout the year. And if you're going to engage with all that stuff, that's great.
Yeah, I agree.
I think for now the price for Ultimate on Game Pass is like $30 a month.
Yeah.
And that's so now that's the breaking point for me, where it's like I could have just bought the Xbox games out of pocket that I wanted to play this year.
Amount of months. Yeah, exactly. And it's not worth it.
Come out ahead. So that's why I'm dropping it for myself at the end of this year.
And I don't engage with enough of the indie stuff without, usually if it's something that truly interests me, I'll just end up buying it anyway. So
right. And a lot of the indie stuff is going to be cheaper to begin with. So it's not as
exactly.
You can just like kind of jump in sight unseen and usually be fine if it's got good word of mouth.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, the barrier to entry to just get there now is getting so high, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
And it's like I was saying earlier, right? Part of that is just like, it's, you know, we're getting diminishing returns on hardware, and also the hardware is getting more expensive to make.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's something, man, because like it's not even just like outliers like the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is obviously a ridiculous sum of money. I think the Switch 2 is, based on what it was, like it's I was fine with it. It's in line with like what the competition is, which makes sense to me. But people did balk at that price, and people oddly don't balk at the price of the Steam Deck, which I also think is really high. Like the Steam Deck's an expensive machine.
The Steam Deck though is you know, also aimed at a much more like hardcore audience than the Switches, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of what I'm getting at is that all of a sudden, because you know, gaming used to be like a thing that was aimed at kids. I mean, adults played it too, obviously, like even at the beginning. But like, you got to go back to like the Nintendo, right? It was marketed as a toy because the video games market was so toxic,
right?
Coming out of the crash of '83, and that perception continued, and console prices were relatively stable for like a really long time, right? Like you were looking at between $199 to $299 for multiple generations, and then you would have like your outliers like the Saturn coming out at $399 versus the PlayStation's $299, and then you had like crazy stuff like the 3DO coming out at $699.
Why not?
In the 90s.
Great idea. Worked out well for him, I think.
Oh, perfectly well for them. Yeah,
really did great.
Juggernaut of the era.
I mean, where would we be without the 3DO? You know.
Yes. And then, you know, other like weird boutique stuff like the Neo Geo consoles, which were like $1,000 and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, those were
the games were like $200 to $300 a pop.
Yeah,
but it was because you were getting a literal arcade machine.
I was just gonna say that. I was just like, but I mean, it was literally arcade. Like perfect.
The actual same cartridge that was in those cabinets.
In those cabinets, that's how they did it. Yeah.
But for the most part, it was relatively stable, and then things have been creeping up. I mean, part of that is obviously like the economy and supply chain and stuff like that. But, you know, when you've got Xbox talking about this boutique curated next hardware that's going to like be this huge shift forward or whatever, and it's like, I don't see how you're doing that for under $1,000, and it actually sounds like it's over $1,000. Yeah, and that's not doable. That's not doable for most people, but it's also not doable, crucially, for your teenagers in high school or like kids asking their parents for it.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? Like, it feels like video games are now being exclusively marketed towards older people with money.
Yeah.
And that's a shrinking market.
That is a shrinking market too. Yeah. It's fascinating. You know, Xbox has always, they've been trying to do this like, no, we're for the gamers, and I mean, they did that with like when they were doing the half step stuff, you know, like, oh, this is, you know, this one does 4K and it's great, and you'll pay a little bit extra money, but it's the best one, we promise, and stuff like that. I don't know. They have this idea that like they can be that kind of boutique manufacturer of a console, I think, and somebody will buy it. I'm sure
somebody will buy
it.
anything, right?
That's like, what I mean.
But not, you need enough somebodies to do it.
Yeah.
Because that portable that they released, that was $1,000, and apparently like that's also been like a lot. I hadn't paid attention to this, but there are like quite a few competitors to the Steam Deck that are over $1,000. And I'm like, why are you paying that for this weird like portable thing? That's a strange thing to me.
Yeah, it is weird.
But I do think it's a problem, and we're gonna end like the year in review stuff with like looking at forward to next gen, because this was the first year where there was like concrete people, like actual people in the know talking about next generation plans and stuff like that.
Sure.
So it is incoming.
Yeah.
It's not just rumor. There's people confirming like, oh yeah, like, and which obviously, right, like they're always working on the next thing, but that's a conversation that we'll have in a little bit.
Sure.
All roads led me here. Me, Richard Harden, private detective. I had one lead on the Phantom to follow, and it had brought me here, to the fourth stall in the stage select's bathroom. My hands were shaking. My palms were sweaty. My testicles were retracted fully. I opened the door and saw a swirling wall of mist. Steeling myself, I stepped through. The mist was cold. Cold like the shoulder of my ex-wife. Once through, I couldn't process what I was seeing. It was...
There's another guy. Alright. Hi. Don't say hi, Bing. I am Bing Bing. God of the Loom. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill you now.
Moving on. Let's see. We'll do that. We'll do that at the end of the show. Yeah, because that's what I wanted to do. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Moving on.
You move on.
We talked about this last year for sure, but I think we had even started talking about a little bit at the end of Nerds Without Pants, but like this felt like the year where the AI shit really like it came. I don't know. I can't say that it came to a head, but this was the year where it all of a sudden, like I looked around and it was like, oh, this is everywhere now. Even places where it has no business to be.
Yeah.
Like markets where it's like, why are you doing AI shit? Like why? And the answer is that like the AI grifters have done the road work to like make people think that they need it everywhere.
It's the new NFT blockchain hit of the now, but this one's lasted a little bit longer than that stuff,
and way more destructive because of the way it's insinuating itself into everything.
100%. Yeah,
like at least the NFT and like the crypto stuff was like it's kind of over here, right? Like people were talking about it and people were into it, but the people who were talking about it and into it were over here.
Yeah,
and you kind of just ignore them.
Yeah.
You can't ignore the AI shit.
No, it's a little bit everywhere now, and no, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm against the generative AI for a lot of reasons,
Sure.
or like mainly the environmental reasons, right? Like,
Yeah.
which people never talk about, which I find exceedingly frustrating. But then again, people never talk about environmental stuff, and that's the thing that's like, okay, none of this economy stuff is going to matter when like there's no grass.
Right.
That grass was a bad example. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Mike Phallic. Mike's like, fucking good.
There's no fresh water anymore.
Yes, all that's green and good in the earth will be gone, as
No more
Samwise
trees.
Gamgee will
We're
say.
gonna have those. We're all gonna implement those like weird aquarium box things that just are like full of algae to do the work of trees now.
Right.
Maybe it'll work. We don't know. Probably not. It's gonna be real weird though.
Are you looking forward to living underground, Justin?
Yeah, that's fine. Sounds fun. Sounds
Yeah.
okay.
I'll probably just off myself before then.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's everywhere, man. And
It is.
it's and there's a lot of elements here. And I do think that like the conversation is getting really muddy and counterproductive because you'll have situations where there are places where stuff gets used in a game, and it's like people will bring out like the pitchforks and like paint the entire creative work with this like shame brush, right?
Sure.
So
yeah.
like I wasn't aware of this until after the Game Awards, but I guess Expedition 33 had like some placeholder textures in the beginning of the game that were AI generated, and this was like right when the game launched, and then it was like changed like not that long after it.
Sure. Yeah.
And so to me it's like I don't know who's to know who we don't make video games, right? And most of the people who are commenting on this shit don't make video games. It's hard to say how that got there, right? Because Expedition 33, like Sandfall, like it wasn't just like their core group of 30 people or whatever. They had contractors, right? So did a contractor that they hired to just do a gig come in there and like paste up some AI shit real quick because they were moving on to the next thing, and either forgot to change it or just didn't tell them that they did that,
or it was just there to be in their test build and then they just kind of forgot it was there because they didn't notice it or something. It's tough to say,
right?
You know,
and you can see the artistry present throughout that entire game, right? So it's like, but I saw people referring to the entire game as AI slop, and I'm like, look, I play porn games.
Oh, there's some real AI slop in that. Yeah,
there are games that are just 100% AI generated slop, like actual slop.
Yeah,
in that particular like corner of Steam.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing too, right? Is that I think people like you have so many people that are anti AAA, but I actually do feel that it's indie developers that are more likely to use AI shit because it is cheaper. It's the path of least resistance.
Right,
if you have a small team, if you don't necessarily have like the people with the know-how to do stuff because you can't staff up, right? It's kind of the same thing with like people being anti-games media, but pro like streamer and YouTuber. And it's like the streamer and the YouTuber is much more likely to be in the pocket of some publisher.
It's just as it's just as games media. It's just like, oh, but I see them play the game, you know, I guess is the difference. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think because they're seeing them, they're interacting with them on a more like personal nature on a day-to-day basis. They learn to trust them, but like they don't necessarily like disclose as often like when it is like a promotion or whatever. I think now there's like more guidelines in place for that stuff. But even so, right? Like Pat and Wooly will definitely like make jokes of it, but it is funny whenever like they're talking on the podcast and Pat's like, well, I think that game is fantastic because I have a sponsored stream coming next Wednesday and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's all fine. That's all cute and everything. But like, that's kind of the reality of it, right? Like that's not what a person in games media does.
Right.
Which I'm kind of getting far afield. But my point is I do feel that like your indie darlings are probably the people that are there that are potentially more at risk of using this stuff. And not to mention, like, obviously, like we already talked about, like the Xbox brand, right? Like every studio working under Xbox, you might want to look before you buy those games coming in the next year and stuff, because it's a mandate coming from on high. And I don't know how much freedom those developers have to not use that shit in their games.
It's gonna be interesting because it's one of those things that I'm not sure if it's gonna go away, but it depends. If the backlash is like huge toward it, then maybe, possibly. But also there are developers out there that are just using it as a tool of sorts and not cutting their staff or whatever, and that's an interesting caveat to the whole thing, because I think it was this week that Larian came out saying that, wasn't it?
And and that was the one that was kind of the breaking point for me. Then the head of Larian, he had been asked in an interview about AI, and he said, well, we're using it for like this and this. The team isn't really all that on board with it. It hasn't really like led to any like efficiencies, but like it's there. And people like just took that and they were just I saw people being like, well, I was going to buy Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, but now I just saved hundreds of dollars. And it's like, so you're saying that because there's the potential of them using certain AI tools on this upcoming game, that tells you to then the previous efforts are pointless, right?
Don't bother.
Game of the year 2023, piece of fucking garbage now, right? Zen, who's been like, I mean, he's not just a CEO, right? He's one of the lead designers on their games, and just like be like, oh well, CEOs like he went from like this indie darling to all of a sudden just like a piece of shit CEO that doesn't know what he's talking about, and then later on he was like, holy fuck, guys, like we're not using it the way that you're talking about. Like I was asked about it and I said like how it's been used, and so good example, right? I work for the Texas government. I personally do not use AI or large language models in my work. I don't want to, and I refuse to do so unless I am ordered to on pain of termination. Right? That is my stance on it. But if you ask me, does my agency use AI? Yes, they use it for, well, I guess we use it for examining contracts. We use it for summarizing this or that. We use it for coming up with art for certain projects, right? So by that same metric, then I'm a piece of shit that's like really into AI.
Exactly. It's gonna be interesting in the coming year or two how that all shakes up. Because I don't know. The backlash is very strong.
It is, and there's potential for savvy developers to be like, yo, like in their trailer, it's like, hey, our new game is coming out here. No AI was used to make the game.
We didn't touch it.
And then seeing and let's see what happens, right? Like I bet those games end up doing really well because
it's very
people
possible.
are rightfully against this stuff, and I totally get it.
Yeah, me too.
If you don't want to support like the new Divinity game, I totally get that. I don't think that gives you carte blanche to like denigrate like the previous work and like all of a sudden turn on.
I almost guarantee you might as well throw like 90% of your favorites in the trash, because I guarantee a bunch of big studios that made a lot of your favorite games are doing the same shit right now.
And small studios. That's the thing I'm getting at too, right?
Yeah, that's why I said like 90% of them, I bet money, are fucking dabbling somewhere along the lines.
Even if it's just like, well, let me take a look at this and see like what it can do. Right. Not necessarily being gung ho about it, but it's like, okay, well, everybody else is trying it. Let's see.
Let's see what what it's all about, or whatever. So
even me this week, right? Like there was a class being offered in January on how to use it for like the type of work that I do, and part of me was like, oh, man, should I take one of these classes just so that I at least understand how it works, so that if I am forced to use it, like I'm not like way behind on it. But at the end of the day, I was like, no, fuck that. Like I'll wait until they force me to use it, and then they can pay to train me to use it.
That's thinking, Julian. That's thinking. I like it.
I do think that like it's going to implode and it's going to blow up in a lot of people's faces.
I think the bubble is coming, possibly. It's hard to say. I've said that about other things and been wrong, so I don't want to, be, I don't know. It's tough to say in anything that.
If one of the fun things about me with anytime we do predictions is that I've always been wrong, so that's always
that's
fun.
about true. And there's,
I've got Pactor's record.
People have compared it to like the .com bubble back in the day, and stuff like that. We'll see what happens.
At the same time, the genie's out of the bottle, right? So this isn't it's not going away.
No,
and the thing too is that it's hard for me to talk about this stuff in any like real definitive manner. And I think that's the other thing that I hate is that people are really talking about it in definitive manners where it's like, I don't think that I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works. I also don't, again, make video games, so I don't know how people are using it there.
Yeah, it's tough to say.
But I do see scenarios where certain parts of it could be useful for certain things.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if it's like, okay, I made this one thing. Now let me use AI to replicate this this repetitive task so that I can go do something else. I don't know. And my, the example I always given, and I still don't know if this is how you can work it, but like, if you could give an artist like an AI tool that then the artist only uses to train on their own work, right? That's all that they're feeding into the thing.
Right.
And it's only so that the artist can be like, here's my ideas. Let me just like throw them into this thing and have it spit out like the approximations in my style.
Right.
And then I'll decide what looks best to me. And then I will go in that direction.
Yeah.
To me, that kind of makes sense. But I don't know, and I don't even know if you can do it that way.
Hard to say. You can train an AI on whatever art or pictures or whatever the hell you want to do. That is the thing you can do.
Well, but is it a clean AI that hasn't already been muddied with like everybody else's work? Is kind of what I'm getting.
I'm not really sure how that all works, but I know that's a thing you can do. And it's weird, but yeah.
I do find like a lot of the pitchforks for like certain things, just like I'm like, man, this is a little out of hand to me.
Yeah, it's the whole thing, man, and we'll just have to basically see how it all shakes out in the end. Really, that's all we can do at this point, because I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah, and I do, I think part of it, I think people are feeling the pressure to deliver these gorgeous looking games,
10 out of 10s, because we don't have times for 7 and 8s anymore. We just
right don't. But I keep going back to I because I do think that there is a problem in the industry somewhere in terms of how people are making their game, like at the bigger level, right? Like there seems to be some inefficiencies in the way things are being done, right? So I know Sucker Punch had said like their budget for Yote at a certain point. I didn't catch it, but I know it was a way lower budget than Spider-Man 2, which was reportedly like around $200 million or something like that.
Right.
And that number continues to astound me when it was set in a city that they had already built.
Yeah.
And they already had like the core game mechanics done.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, it's like, I don't understand how, obviously the game looks incredible and it had some amazing set pieces.
Sure.
But I still don't understand how the budget of that game balloons to that.
You got me. I don't know.
Unless they did just rebuild the entirety of New York from scratch. And if that's the case, why the fuck did you do that? Right.
Seems like you didn't need to do that. But
right. And I think that's like, there's that quote, right? It's from some indie game developer that said, like, I want more games that look worse, that come out faster, and the people who made them are paid more. And I'm not kidding.
Take longer to make is what it was, if I remember right.
No, not take long. I don't think take longer.
I think it was
take longer?
I think it was take longer. It was like a bunch of like bad stuff. It right. sounded bad, right? Yeah. I want games that look worse, that take longer to make by people who are paid more to do less.
Yeah.
And I'm not even joking about that.
Well, I take out the longer part, right? Like I think that you can make games look worse
Sure.
and that still look incredible. Like that's the thing, right? I think there needs to be efficiencies put in where you can make games with either smaller teams or more efficiently and come out at a more reasonable rate. And what I keep coming back to is like a lot of Japanese. It's really funny when you think about the
Asset
Xbox
reuse.
360 generation.
Yeah.
Where that generation, Japan could not deal with the move over to like Windows based game design, right?
Yeah.
And also HD textures, right? It
I
was the
just gonna say,
combined.
the HD thing. Yeah, they just could not figure it out. Yeah.
It was that double whammy because they were having to learn like a completely new
Yeah.
architecture on top of, well, also the resolution is way higher than we ever had to
Right.
design for. But now it's like it's so efficient. Like look at how many games RGG and Capcom have released
Right.
this generation.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of amazing. And part of that is, well, in the case of RGG, right? Like they're excellent at reusing assets and animation and all
Yeah.
of this stuff to the point that the that island that you could build in Infinite Wealth just had like, oh, here's all of the assets from all of the old Yakuza
Yeah, pretty
games that
much.
you can throw on this island if you want.
Right.
Because we just keep that stuff, and it's like
Right.
that's really cool. There's that, but then I think in the case of like Capcom, they've just really optimized that RE engine,
Yeah.
and because they're not, it's not like a lot of stuff is being carried over from game to game. They're just that
No.
they just know that engine and they're working it really well. So that's
they-
working for them. That's great.
I think there's a way that they scan things in on it and then just go for it pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. So, yeah.
And then to their credit, you do have Insomniac, like as far as like Sony first party, they've definitely put out the most stuff this generation.
Yeah.
But then I point again to Spider-Man 2 and it's like, what the fuck did you do there? I really want to, I would love to know the story of that because that doesn't sound right to me.
I don't know. Maybe part of the budget is the license.
I can't, there is something there that I don't know, man. I don't know
either. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
And again, I don't want to take away from the game. I think it's a gorgeous looking game. I think like a lot of those big moments were like very cool.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, it's like, did it cost that much money because of the Venom shit? Because that was the worst part of the game. And if that's the case, then maybe you should have just saved that for a Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's possible.
So I can understand why like AI is potentially like a lifesaver to some of those projects, but I do think that it's a cursed lifesaver that will cause more harm than good.
It's gonna be tough, man. It's really gonna be interesting, the level of backlash on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We shall see.
We shall see. It is a bummer when because I find it to be personally a bummer when creatives are like really gung ho on it. I get why like the people holding the purse strings are really gung ho, but when you have people like Yuji Nori from Dragon Quest saying they're like, oh yeah, I just want to make like all of the NPCs in our game like AI, not the NPCs themselves, but like their dialogue, like so you can just kind of have conversations with them, and it's like, okay, all right.
There's a Skyrim mod that does that. It's real weird. I've never tried it before, but I remember reading it and being like, this doesn't sound real.
Yeah.
But it's like where they just like somehow attach like an AI bot to like NPCs and you can just go have conversations with them. I don't know exactly how it works, but it sounds wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, God, AI and fucking modding community. Jesus Christ, that's a whole fucking thing. But
I hadn't even thought about that.
Now I will say that the backlash there is very real and very swift. Like once it really took hold there, like people were just like, nope, we are not dealing with this. And it gets painted with a brush, but that stuff is still there and you can still get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And I do want it to be up front and center if you did use Gen AI for the development of your game. I like that Steam does that. I don't like how far down you have to scroll on the page to find it, but I like that it's there.
I like that it's there, and I like how detailed the description is a lot of the times, because sometimes it's like, hey, they did use AI on this, but it was only for these couple things, and it's like, and it like, it's kind of like, am I comfortable with that? I guess, or not. You know, like you can decide your level of anger that you want to have over that, I guess. Which is fascinating.
I did try a porn game this year that had said that they used AI because I was interested in the setup of it, and the actual like women in the game I was pretty impressed with, because I was like, oh, this woman has stretch marks. This woman has hair in places that you wouldn't normally see hair for a porn game. Like these are very like kind of down to earth character designs that I really like. And what they used it for was basically, there's like these weird like transition animations. They use it a lot for like introducing characters, and then there might be like, okay, now this character has like changed their outfit, so here's this like pan up the body like in, and that's like an AI animation, and it's like the worst looking shit in the game. Everything else is great, right? And that's all they used it for. And I was like, man, this actually, like, you could have just not used that,
it and
because
it would have been fine. Yeah,
it detracts from every, like, the game itself is solid, like it's well written, it's got a cool premise, like the character designs are good, like you didn't need that shit,
right?
And it's kind of funny that you put it in there, because I know I think what they were trying to go for was like almost like a PS1 era like CG thing, where it's like, okay, here's like the fancy CG cutscene after like the big boss fight, but here it just looks like, oh
yeah,
the rest of the game looks better. Like, just you know, either don't have animations, because like a lot of these games don't have animations, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Or just get a traditional animator to do them, because like the game would be better off for it.
Yeah.
But again, small teams, so I could see why a situation where it's like, oh well, we can't do this otherwise, and
let's just do it this way. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we can't afford an animator, or we don't, or what have you, and it's a whole thing.
Right.
Last thing I want to talk about as far as like the year in games, Justin, is, you know, next gen is way closer.
Yeah,
we had, I know, like Sony basically said, I think in an earnings call or something like that they were like targeting like, I think like 2027 ish, and Mark Cerny had done some presentation at some point. I really like listening to that guy talk. I don't understand most of it, but you can tell that he's very passionate about it. He's very earnest about it, and very excited about what he does, and I think that's really great. He was talking about like the making of the PS5 Pro. I think it was early in the year, and he was kind of talking about, it's like 5 years to make the next thing, and you usually make it like, usually start after the other one, or something like that. So, and I think what that meant was that they would have already started on like the PS6 stuff around 2023.
Okay. Yeah.
So that would make like a 2027, 2028 thing.
Yeah.
Kind of line up, right? And obviously Xbox have been out there with their like, oh, this, you know.
Yeah.
We have this super expensive thing in the pipipeline, right?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
They were going to gear towards like
the ultra gamer. I don't know.
I don't even know who that's for at this point, because anyway, but I guess what I wanted to talk about is like, what do you expect to see? Like, what do you expect to see? And then we can talk about kind of what we would like to see for this next set of consoles.
I don't expect that much, man.
I'm specifically talking about Sony and Xbox. Because Nintendo just came out with their current gen console. People were talking about like, oh, it's Nintendo's next gen console. It's like, no, Nintendo released 2 consoles last generation. This is their current generation.
Right. Yeah. It'll be another little while before Nintendo makes another thing.
Yeah.
What do I expect to see from Microsoft and Sony, I guess? Man, I really don't expect that much. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't. I think, I mean, it'll be probably slightly better than what you have now, I guess. It'll probably cost a lot more. The only good thing is like if you're like a hardcore PC person, I guess it'll lift that bar up. That'll be the thing. Like the lowest common denominator of that generation will become like what you can do, kind of like the Series S is now, where like you kind of have to cater around it.
Oh man, I forgot about the Series S. I hope that they
Still
don't do
out,
that
yeah.
next generation, because that
That was a bad idea. That was that really held things back.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good idea. It just didn't pan out, I think, the way they thought it would. I think putting out that's one thing I hope they try not to do, but then again, I don't know, because if I could see them, oh man, we have this big, huge, expensive thing, but also we have this one that's like a little bit less, but it's like only slightly better than maybe the Series X is now, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I don't even know where you go at this point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of, I just feel like it's going to be an expensive box that's not really doing anything you haven't really already seen. Like I said, a lot of things will probably be slightly better. We're not at that real like noticeable generational leap anymore. I mean, PlayStation 4 to 5 was like, it was fine, but it wasn't like nothing blew my mind, right? Like I was like, I was never like, holy shit, this is video games now. That's crazy. Like I was in my youth, and we're just kind of past that point now.
I mean, okay, you say that, but it was funny because I was playing Death Stranding 2, and I was like, I think that people really got used to SSD stuff without even like batting an eye way too quickly. And part of that is that third-party stuff still loads slower, but it's like every time that I fired up Death Stranding 2, I was like, God damn. Because I would just, it's like that title screen would pop up. I would hit the button, and it was like there was Sam on the screen, and I was like, "That is still fucking impressive."
Yeah, I mean, Ghost of Yote was very similar. Like it was 0 to game and very, very quickly, and that stuff is impressive. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about like, sure, you and I will notice that stuff, but like, will your average person who's, buying your average 2 to 3 games a year, are they going to notice that stuff?
Right.
That's like, are they going to be like, holy shit, it loads so fast? They don't really care that much about that stuff. How good does it look? What are the graphics? What is it look like a real yet? When it comes to that stuff, like the big things people look at, I don't expect much from video games for a while.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a negative way. I think those consoles will still come out, and they'll put something out that we'll all go, oh shit, okay, that looks cool, and the only place I can play that is here. I think I don't mean it to, compared to what we just talked about. I think AI, not that kind of AI, but I mean like computer intelligence, like the things that you're fighting and stuff like that. I think that stuff, I hope, gets even, more interesting and advanced. Little things, how much different stuff you can do, how much stuff is breakable. That's going to be the interesting stuff going forward. Just the tiny details.
Yeah. I think back to that Witcher 4 Unreal 5 demonstration they had earlier this year, where they had those examples of like, here's like just some on the fly like interactions with like NPCs that can just kind of happen, right? Like the girl dropping the basket of apples and stuff like that. Like that stuff is really cool.
Little tiny stuff can add up to make a real big difference.
Yes.
And I think that if they do that stuff, that'll be cool. Whether people will lose their mind over it, I don't know. And then you also have to couple in the price with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And is it going to be worth it? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting.
You're right on the money, especially with like the, you know, where we are at like huge diminishing returns for each generation.
Yeah.
And part of that's coupled with, you know, and I think it's always worth stating is that this generation like was kind of hamstrung from the jump with the you know, coming out amidst the pandemic.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then
100%.
right after that was that huge supply chain issue where you couldn't even get the consoles for
Right.
like way longer than normal.
It was wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it's like that kind of shifted everything by a good 2 years.
It feels like the console, a new console shouldn't be coming out as soon as they're saying it should, right?
Because it feels like we still haven't gotten to full capacity
it feels
on
like
this generation.
Skipped, like these consoles skipped a few years. Like they were there, but like nothing really happened with them, you know?
Right.
Not the way they used to.
Exactly.
It's strange, you know. This might be the weirdest console generation to me.
Oh, 100% it is.
I really have felt that way for a long time. Like it's just it's a weird one. It's not their fault. It's just they came out at a weird time in history.
Yeah.
And you know,
and I still think there's been like incredible games. Like I think I think the most frustrating thing that I see is people saying like, oh, there wasn't anything that came out for like the PlayStation 5. And it's like, what are you looking at? Like, I understand if you're talking about that, like a lot of it you could also play on the PlayStation 4, but you were going to have like a shitty version of that game if you did that, or it was on the PC. And it's like, yeah, but that's great. Like I want more people to be able to play great games. So things have changed. Right. And I think that, and I don't want to be that person that's like, well, it's different than it was when I was a kid and now it's shitty.
Oh,
it's
no,
like,
no,
it's just things are different.
No. Please don't take what I'm saying as that.
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about like,
I know.
In general,
I didn't say that to you. I wanted to make sure the audience knew that. I'm like, no. I'm not saying that. God, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I do not like that sentiment at all.
I'm at this point, I'm thinking if like the PlayStation 6 and Xbox whatever X, right? Because that's probably going to be it. It's going to be Xbox name X, and
I hope it's name X.
I mean, yeah, Xbox name X.
Named X.
Originally, I was like, okay, those are going to be $999. Now I'm thinking that's like the entry price. That's going to be like the Xbox Series S one.
Yeah, it's possible.
And then the big boy one is going to be like $12.99.
They'll learn a pretty harsh lesson, I think, if that stuff comes out at that price point.
I can't afford to upgrade at that price.
No,
that's a thing where I wait a few years.
I don't think a lot of people will. The bad thing is now is the prices don't go down on these things.
That's the other thing. That is,
you know,
let's be clear. That didn't just start this generation.
No,
that actually
not.
Started 2 generations ago. So the 360 and the PS3, they did go down, but they didn't go down to the extent that you would have expected them to.
No.
They still kind of maintained a lot of their value.
Yeah, they did.
Throughout that very long console life.
Absolutely.
But last gen was really the one where it was like
last gen was the wild one. Yeah.
Stuff kept its value.
Yep.
Part of that was like the mid console refreshes, but even like the base models, like they didn't drop. Like what ended up happening was like they kind of phased out the base models, and then you had like in the case of PlayStation 4, you had like your slim version, then you had your pro version. But even the slim version wasn't like that much lower of a price than what came out at launch.
Nope.
And it used to be that you wanted to get, well, in the old days when systems were like $299, it was like you wanted to get under 100, right? That was like the last. That's where you grabbed the last group of people that were waiting.
Yeah.
But if you get it down to like 129 in that general range, like that was kind of what you were hoping for.
Yeah.
But these days it's like, yeah, consoles are like even used consoles, you're still paying like $250 to $299 for stuff for sometimes last gen, right?
Yeah.
And so now I'm kind of getting into what I would like. because you pretty much like summarize everything I was kind of expecting. What I would like from next generation, and they would have to be upfront about this, but I would like them to be like, yo, look, it's not time for like the next evolution. We're just not there yet.
Yeah.
We are going to release a new console and it is going to be more powerful.
Sure.
But it's not significantly more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if you necessarily put like a new number on it or if it's just this is the next model of PlayStation 5 and you keep that for a while.
It's like the not sequel but spin-off version of a franchise, you know, like
I'm almost wanting a lateral move.
Right.
Because the big thing was like a lot of people are still trying to hit 4K 60 and they're not managing to do that, right? Yeah. Or well, and with all the bells and whistles on, right? You want to
these motherfuckers when this shit came out, we're talking about eventually we're gonna do 8K pretty soon. It's like I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna do that actually.
Yeah.
We can't do 4K 60 like you just said.
Yeah. And no one's buying an 8K TV. Like, just stop.
Nobody is.
And that's the other thing, right? Is that I'm thinking about the average consumer. I still don't understand how my friends in Colorado bought a 1080p TV. I didn't think that you could do that anymore.
Yeah.
I gave, they have a PS5 now and they don't even see the code. They can't see the code because like it's to them, it's just like a PlayStation 4 that loads faster.
Yeah.
It's like they don't see any benefit of like the like what it can do. And also the main thing they play is Final Fantasy 14, which is a 10-year-old game.
But, I mean, again, your average consumer doesn't like notice that kind of stuff a lot of the time because you're confined to many different factors. I mean, even with my PC can do like pretty well. But I can't go over 60 frames a second. I can, but I can't see it because my refresh rate on my TV is not that high. It's only 60. Yeah. And I want to eventually get a better one, but not right now.
Yeah. Well, that was also the frustrating thing for me this generation was that it's like, okay, we've got 60 frames per second now. And then like the people who had been like clamoring for that for years, like, yeah, but does it do 120? And it's like, fuck off.
Right. Yeah.
But also I don't think most people necessarily, unless it is like a quantum leap forward, I don't think that's necessarily what people want or are looking for. So let's just shore up what we've got. Let's make it to where hopefully like we can make the pipeline more efficient to hopefully help these developers make their games quicker and better overall and whatnot. But let's just kind of be able to hit these targets reliably and have all the bells and whistles on if you want them and just make sure that like we can do this without not without trying, but like that we can hit this reliably.
Yeah.
99% of the time. And then maybe in that interim, while we're still in that space, then like the next big leap in technology happens. Like, because I was thinking the other day, as I was, I still buy a lot of physical games and I do feel that this is my last generation of buying physical games simply because like the fun is gone because it's like, you're not really running the game off of the disc anyway, but like,
it's not the same. Yeah.
But it does feel like there's a place for someone to develop a new type of physical media, like the next generation of physical media that it might not be a disc. I don't know what it would look like, but something that is faster and more reliable and has like capacity or something like that, where it is kind of more back because there is a concerted push among the masses to go back to physical media because they are seeing the pitfalls of an all digital library, right?
Yeah.
I was at Half Price Books yesterday and I was looking at DVD. Oh, because I was looking, they had Shutter Island and I was like, that price is about, it was just on DVD and I was like, that price is the same that I could rent like the 4K version. So that I'm not going to mess with that. But then there was like season 1 of The Sopranos on DVD for like $5.49 and I didn't buy it. And I was like, man, I'm regretting it now because like I used to own the whole thing.
It's probably still there, Julian.
Yeah, but it's so far from
I
here.
still own all the seasons. I actually found them going through some older stuff not too long ago. I was like, oh hey, look, Sopranos. That's cool.
Yeah. There's some TV shows that I would like to, that I've gotten rid of, that I would like to go back to.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking for like a Cinemorons, I was like, I kind of want to get Justin to watch the first season of Dollhouse, because there's a lot of interesting conversations to have out of that show.
Sure.
I know it's a controversial one, but it's a really fascinating show.
Yeah.
But it was like, there was no Dollhouse there. I was like, okay, well, never mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a tangent. But
Yeah.
I don't even remember how I got to here. But
what you want to see out of the next generation?
Physical media. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I think that there is like potential there. I don't even know if anybody would be working on something like that, but it feels like somebody should be.
It's not a bad idea. There's, like you said, somebody probably should do something like that.
Yeah.
But whether we will or not, I don't know.
And I think the other part of what I was trying to get at is that I would like, if we're doing these, if we had these lateral shift boxes, I would like them to also be actually cheaper than what we have right now.
Sure,
right? Like
yeah.
we need to bring the costs down.
Yeah.
And so that would be the incentive for people to upgrade. It's like, hey, it's better and it's cheaper, and we're going to slowly phase out like what you could buy before, and eventually this is going to be the box, but it's not going to have its own library, right? We're kind of still developing off of like PS5 architecture or whatever. So like,
yeah,
anything that's coming out for this box would still run on the older systems. It might not run as well, but
sure.
Like I think basically what I'm trying to say is that next gen shouldn't be a next gen. It should just be a new set of boxes that you can choose if you want to get them or not.
It sounds like a hardcore half step.
It's not, yeah, even then, like maybe a quarter. Like really, I kind of, let's just coast here for a little bit longer, right?
Sure.
Let's stay here for another like 4 years and then see where we're at.
I like the sentiment, but at the same time,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Like,
No.
because.
Especially because, like,
Yeah.
you know, talking, like listening to Mark Cerny in that presentation made a lot of sense, right? Is that they do kind of start the next one as soon as the previous one is done.
Yeah.
So there's all that lead time, and they don't know what's going to happen, right? And you kind of don't know what advances are going to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean,
they could release the PlayStation 6 in 2028, and then the year after is like, oh, shit just popped off in tech where like we can do everything so much more efficiently and so much cheaper, and it's like way more powerful, and it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
We're already here.
We're already here. I mean, that used to happen back in the, even, you know, in the older consoles. I mean, think back to like the 360 and its HD DVD, and then PlayStation 3's Blu-ray thing, and like, which one's going to succeed? We don't know. We're taking a gamble on this one.
Yep.
And then, you know, Blu-ray.
Porn went Blu-ray. Porn went Blu-ray. Oh well,
yeah.
it's over.
See, that's the question we need to ask, Julian. Is what
is porn doing?
What is porn leaning towards? Right? Like,
they're pretty big about VR.
Well, yeah. I don't know if we're gonna do that. Yeah, that ship seems to be like it's sailed for the moment.
Give me my brain dances. God damn it.
Now we're talking. We're talking. Although I don't know, something about that whole concept creeps me out. There's a lot of downfalls to it in the cyberpunk universe. That's all I'm saying.
No, there is.
Seems like a great idea.
Look, I'm on record as saying that if I can just like have like all of these cool experiences and it feels like the real thing, just strap me in and load me up with the scop.
Yeah, sure. I mean, fair, but like at the same time, then you'll wake up thinking you're that person
who says I'm waking up? Just plug me in.
That's also
leave me there.
That's sometimes that happens too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just wake up naked in an ice bath every now and then. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop making me want to play Cyberpunk again.
I love that game. It's funny because now I have like certain missions that I dread having to do. It's really funny. Like I don't like and they're ones that I like. Like I'm like, I like the River Quest line. I think it's cool. I don't want to play it again because it's nothing but Braden Dance editing. That's all they are. There's no shooting. I just want to shoot stuff. So I just like
is River the cop?
Yeah, he's the cop.
Also, he's lame.
He's really lame. Apparently, I think according to the things I've read, he was a victim of like cut content stuff. Like there was supposed to be more with him, but they just kind of didn't do it. Which I'm always fascinated by. But yeah, that game's lore is wild. That's a different podcast, but it's something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I get to his quest and I'm like, I don't really feel like doing all that. I just want to shoot stuff. Can I just do the big shoot bangs and just be a tank? My build is really fun. I feel like I can't die. It's crazy. It's kind of great. But anyway.
You're like my friend in high school when he was playing I guess that was Diablo 2. It was one of them, and he was just like, yeah, like my character's so strong now that Diablo can't even touch me.
Yeah,
and he but he still kept playing it. He was like, yeah, I figured like after school I'm just gonna go home and like kill Diablo again.
Yeah, why not?
And I'm like, okay, like that doesn't sound fun, but
oh no,
go ahead.
There's a level of fun to it. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's the year.
Yeah, that's
in review for video games.
Pretty much.
Yeah, next year is going to be very interesting.
It will be. I hope it's slightly more. I don't think this year was a bad year in video games. I want to make that clear. It just wasn't like a year where a lot of stuff came out that I personally was like, oh shit, I'm very into that. There was definitely a few things that I got into game wise, but like not as much as like other years. I don't know. And it part of that's like, I don't know, this has been a really fucking weird year in my life. So
well, and that's one of the things that
that's
I was
a big thing.
Yeah, because your life fundamentally changed this year.
Yes, it did.
Because I think there's a lot of stuff that came out this year that you would have gotten into if you either played it or gave it like a longer chance. But you got like a life this year. Like you have like people to spend time with now.
Yeah.
And I think that's been like a more fulfilling thing for you this year.
Sure.
So I think that kind of colors it in a way where it's like, because I do think that like you, like in the old times, like you would have just like mainlined like the 100 line, right? Because
possibly.
Even if it didn't like, oops, sorry, Baldar. Even if it didn't like grab you the way that it grabbed me, you would have been like, well, this is the game that I'm playing right now.
Sometimes, for sure. But the good thing about that is now I have something to go back to, I guess. Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't play Danganronpa.
Next year's game of the year might be the first time that you have nominations for best game not released in 2026.
It's entirely possible,
Yeah.
Yeah, when I played it this year, it was a weird headspace. I was just like, I'll come back to this, and then I never got back to it. So yeah, it's been a weird year in games for me, but like, I don't know.
Before we move on to the last bit, Justin, I need to take a bathroom break. If you
cool,
wanna.
I'm gonna go get a drink, so that's fine.
Okay, excellent.
All right, excellent.
BRB.
Okay. Gamers, you bunch of fucking dweebs. I'm sitting here, I'm drinking a Coca-Cola. I miss the days sometimes when it was labeled Coca-Cola Classic. For those unfamiliar, at some point, I think the late 80s, early 90s, Coke put out New Coke, and everybody hated it. So then they reverted to the new recipe, and they had to put Coca-Cola Classic on it because people were pissed. But now I'm fascinated by the fact that you can't find the new recipe of Coke. Maybe I personally would have liked it better. So now Coke, I think, should put out Coke Nostalgia and just, this is the new recipe of Coke that came out in the 90s that everybody hated. What do you think about it now? Because I might have a different opinion on it. I was like, I don't know, 5? When did that happen? I have a phone. It's 11 o'clock. I have the Basic Instinct cast up. I was watching Basic Instinct. Pretty good movie. Excellent movie, actually. Oh, New Coke. New Coke. When did that happen? 1985. I didn't even exist yet. Great. Massive consumer backlash. Yeah, deep emotional ties. Yeah. 77 days later, that's all it lasted. We should bring back New Coke.
I'd like to try it.
I want to try. That's what I was just saying. There's a whole diatribe on here that you'll hear later, I'm guessing, about New Coke. Because it came out, everybody hated it, and then I didn't exist. Ooh, bless me.
Because look, I'm one of those sickos who liked Crystal Pepsi, so
right.
There's a chance that I might.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, there's a chance that I might think New Coke is great.
Right? They should try it again. Just put it out as that, like a limited time thing. I just want to know. I just want to know what it was.
Is it tainted by the fact that they had Bill Cosby do the ad campaign for that? Like, does that mean that you can't touch that brand?
Yeah, no, you can. Nobody remembers that.
True. But then they don't remember New Coke, so I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, just unleash it on a new generation of people that are oblivious.
Exactly. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
All right.
Yeah. They won't do it.
They won't do it.
Cowards.
So as we did last year, I want to end this episode by kind of also doing a year in review of the Stage Select as a show, because this is our first like full season. I think because last year it took us a little bit to actually like spin up and get things off the ground. I think we started in March.
I don't even remember now.
I'm gonna check real quick because
I believe you.
Whoops, that's not what I want to look at.
It was either that or February. I can't remember.
Well, it's usually February.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, first episode was March 6th.
Oh,
so we spent a little bit longer in between ending NWP and starting the Stage Select to get things off the ground.
Because I think if I remember right, I got real into Skyrim while we were off.
Yeah.
That sounds like me.
And I think for me, it was like trying to get like everything like, on the back end prepared and kind of figuring out what we were going to do.
Sure.
And
yeah.
There might have been some other stuff going on. I don't remember exactly why it took us that long to get it going. But
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So going forward, like we'll always be off for like 6 weeks between seasons. And so we'll actually be recording like our first episode like around the beginning of February.
But don't worry, stuff will still come out.
There'll be plenty coming out.
Yeah.
We've seen fit to that.
Don't worry about that. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So far, I don't believe I think there might have been like 1 week where there was a gap in programming, and that was last season.
Yeah.
But other than that, we haven't missed a week since we started. So that's been very important to me, because there'll be times with Nerds Without Pants where we'd be, just because of technical difficulties or scheduling or whatever, like we might be gone for like, 2 episodes or something. And we were bi-weekly also. So that was actually like.
So we just take a month off. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been an interesting season. It's been a little bit of a rocky season. I'm not going to lie, Justin. I like every week. I like, this is going to be the week when Justin says he's not doing it anymore. This is it. Because it has been like just a very like wild year for you.
That is true, but I get encouraged every time I do one of these to keep doing them. So. That is a real thing. So no, there's been no back down on my part. So yeah.
But but even so, like it does remind me of like when Patrick went to get his cybersecurity degree.
Yeah.
On Nerds Without Pants, where it was like once he started doing that, like he was checked out. Not saying that you're checked out.
Yeah.
But. Because I think in the Discord people were like, "Yeah, there's not as many bits this year," and it's like, well, yeah, because like I can't do it by myself. Like,
Yeah,
I can't do them all.
I'm on a laptop right now, so like and it's not mine. Yeah, like what? Like very soon
setup's
I'll
been
get
wonky for
everything
most of the
back,
year.
and so yeah, it's been a whole thing.
Like you have some of the buttons right now, but you're like, I don't know which button is which right now. And
I know all my buttons. They're all labeled and stuff. I think I've reached capacity on most of. Oh no, I still have one whole thing that I can add some stuff to, so that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm on a laptop. It's not mine. I'm trying to keep it relatively clean because I'm like, this is a temporary thing that I'm using here. I want to be respectful for the most parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, like once I get my whole thing back up and have the confidence to do all that stuff, maybe I can do some of it again, but we'll see.
Last season was very much like I don't know what Justin's got cooking for me this week or whatnot. And, this year was mostly like, well, here's what I've got cooking.
Yeah.
And mostly it's been like, you'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Guess we'll do
I'll
that.
go with it. Sure.
But yeah, as far as the show goes, right, I re-listened to this episode last year because I just was curious about stats for one, but then also just I didn't want to like be too repetitive on it. But so we had around 3,000 total episode downloads at the end of last year.
Okay.
And we had around 1,000 unique listeners according to Captivate, our host, right?
Yeah.
And not to get into it again, but like podcast numbers are weird. Like you're not getting everything at any particular source. It's all terrible. But according to Captivate this year, we're really close to 7,000 all-time downloads.
That's not bad.
So tacked on like almost another 4,000 this year. So that is up from last year overall. And then we're at around 3,500 unique listeners.
Okay.
So that, that's definitely cool.
That's good.
We didn't, even with that, we didn't necessarily have growth this year, but I'm happy that we at least haven't cratered. So we're still averaging around the same number of downloads per week as, well, no, it's lower than, well, no, actually, yeah, because towards the end of last year, it was in the 40s to 50s.
Sure.
And we're still in the 40s to 50s now.
Yeah, that's not bad.
We had a huge bump after the Giant Bomb ad campaign.
You'll have that, yeah.
And I was very excited because like we were well over like 100 listeners according to one source, and the downloads were like really high, and it seemed like people were checking out like the back catalog, and it was very encouraging. And then all of those extra people left, and we also lost some people, and I was like, all right, so at this point I'm taking it personally. It's me. I'm driving people away.
It's probably me, actually.
I seriously doubt that. At this point, so the funny thing about this is that it's 2 episodes old for listeners when this comes out, but it's still very raw for me. So I'm totally, or not raw, it's very new for me. After this week's episode titled Kojima's a Hack, like does its thing, I fully expect the episode after that to crater, because I think people are going to really like take exception to what I said.
Yeah.
But I couldn't think of anything else to name it. I'm not trying to promote that episode because I don't need that breaking containment. I do think that I explain myself very well, but I still don't necessarily need like the worst people on the internet coming at me.
That's fair.
But yeah, so the show is stable.
Sure. That's fine.
I'm happy that we're not in like the teens or something every week.
Hey,
like
I've
that would have
I've been there and still made the show that I made.
No.
So, yeah.
And let me be clear, like we will continue to make the show as long as there's 2 of us to make the show. Like that's not that's not a thing. I enjoy doing this. And it's part of my therapy, and it's like my creative outlet, and I enjoy it. But it is nice to have listeners, right? It's nice to have people that are engaging with us, especially on Discord and stuff like that. But I always thought, back in the Nerds Without Pants days when we couldn't see the numbers, I always was like, surely, like if you're consistent and you're putting out like a good product and like people can see like the enthusiasm and the work that goes into it, that like things grow over time, and that doesn't seem to be the case. But at least things aren't like shrinking.
Yeah, that's really all you can ask for a lot of the time. Yeah.
It is funny because like the month October is when our ad ran. And so now we have like this new record of 625 downloads in a single month, which we'll never hit that again.
Probably
Like I'm just predicting that now because now we're the month after we were back down to 300, and then this month we're at 260, but half of that I'm calling bullshit because someone downloaded every single episode in one day.
Good for them.
On top of like we had like 33 downloads for the new episode, and then it was like another 100.
I used to
just
get that
back
every
catalog.
now and then where somebody would download like every single episode out of nowhere. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's an actual person sometimes.
Oh, that would be even worse. My thought was it's just one of the sicko fans that just wanted to like
possible. I
go
remember,
through the whole catalog again.
I remember that being a thing sometimes, and it was can't remember which podcast. I think that might have been Clickbait Update. That happened one time. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah,
and
because they even downloaded the trailer and the pilot.
That's
which
what
I find.
Yeah,
odd.
and I think it's like some sort of like almost like bot doing it and going in, because I remember like randomly getting an email or something shortly after it. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna guess that's what that was."
I'm not counting that extra 100 downloads. So really, like it, like when you take those out, this is like the worst month that we've had all year.
That's fine.
That's awesome. You know, but we'll see because our Game of the Year stuff last year did really well. So I'm hoping that you know people like Game of the Year stuff, and I think we do really great Game of the Year stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that shakes out. It's going to be, we haven't recorded the final episode yet. It's going to be a weird list this year.
It's possible.
I can tell you that for free.
It's possible. It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
I just hope to invite chaos into it.
I'm just trying to get a couple darlings just barely on the list. If the ones that I'm really gunning or really cheering for get 10 and 9, like, well, that's just fine.
Yeah.
Because I know that they're hard sells in a group list setting.
Yeah.
Even though they're probably going to be like my number 1 and 2 games.
Yeah.
Have no idea what my Game of the Year is at this point. There's 3 games that are fighting it out on my list, and I'm not sure where I land. But there's also potential for, there's stuff that I'm going to be catching up on for the break. Like, I'll talk about, well, I will have already talked about it, but I did fire up Ghost of Yotei when I got it back from John Gholson, and I was like, man, this game's really good.
It is actually pretty good. I like it.
But I've been mopping up some other stuff, and I also had to play Rich Man 10 this week, so that.
Oh man, that was a fun text.
So that's kind of where we're at right now. I've got some stuff planned, and I guess the other thing, right, is like, like there have been fewer bits, and part of that is because some of the stuff has been like just like Justin's got something planned, and then that turns into a thing, and that might turn into a recurring character or a recurring bit.
Yeah.
Or I've got so and it depends, right? Like you had said last year that you didn't want to force it, and I also don't want to force it.
Yeah.
So like, and it does take creative energy, and it takes time, and there's like I have ideas, and it's like, sometimes I don't have the energy to actually like write, because it's like first I have to write the script, then I have to record it, then I have to like edit it and try to like make it all pretty.
Right.
And so that's like 3 stages, and sometimes I only have the energy for one of those stages.
It's not easy, man. Yeah. No, yeah.
And a lot of times, if I only have the energy for one of those stages, I'm like, well, I'm just not going to do it right now because I don't want to like break it up over multiple sessions or whatever. Yeah. I do have some ideas for next season. I do have some like some character ideas. There's some stuff from John. Like John has some ideas that he just didn't get around to doing this year. But like one of them is actually, I think it works better as when he's on the show.
Sure.
And I kind of want it to just be like every time that he's on the show, like we bring back this bit that he does.
Sure. Yeah.
But then he's got another thing that I think I'm just going to like kind of pester him to record for us next year. I was hoping for more of our like friends to like do stuff and send it in, but I guess that's, you know,
It's
I
tough.
mean, I get it, right? It's like, why am I going to put all this effort into like, you know, making this thing for your show for just like
Yeah.
a mention? And it's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no. I
Maybe I'll try to
There's
like
been
reach
a
out.
couple things brewing in my mind that I want to do that I require my whole setup. And once and what'll be nice is like I'll actually have a 2 mic setup pretty soon here, and I'm
Ooh.
really looking forward to that. I don't know what I'm going to utilize it for, but it'll be a whole. I can invite some more chaos with that.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited to see your new setup. Like once you get all like settled in and everything, that's going to be exciting.
Me too.
Yeah. I want to see how many RGB lights you put up in that son
I
bitch.
don't know if any, but you know,
Probably not,
Never
but it would be
say
cool if you
never. I've put some things up for things. We'll see what happens.
I want to do some stuff like that in here.
It'd
Not
be
that I
fun.
stream or anything like that, but just for funsies.
I want to get back to streaming. Like I said, that's been a thing that I can't do that here. There's just no way.
Right.
And what was I guess this is a good place to say this. Listen, to any fans of my older stuff, if you are randomly still subscribed to that or whatever and holding out hope that randomly new episodes will show up, they probably won't. And in fact, they might disappear soon. But I'm going to archive them somewhere, I swear. Where I host that stuff at raise their prices, and I'm like, yeah, that's just not worth it.
Sure, that makes sense.
I looked at that, I was like, ooh, no, I gotta move that. That's a little too much for something I'm not doing right now, and don't have much plan to go back to. Sorry, Mike Falk. But yeah, like I do want to stream more because that's been a thing I've been wanting to do, but really can't do it here. Just been kind of waiting, and now all of that stuff is starting to culminate, and I'm getting more and more excited about like, oh man, I'll have my stuff back. That'd be nice.
Yeah, there were definitely like episode ideas that I had this year that I just didn't even like. I was like, that's probably not doable this year. Like,
right.
I wanted to do like a big thing for the Xbox 360's 20th and for the PlayStation 1's 30th, and like I wanted to go bigger with the game of the year as far as like I wanted to like actually expand categories and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I was like, this isn't the year for that.
Yeah.
So maybe next year we'll see how things shake out.
Yeah.
I kind of eventually would actually like to do like 4 episodes for game of the year.
Yeah,
but,
sure. Yeah.
But we'll see, because I think with it being 3 episodes, that basically with the stuff that I record, that's where we have like a week, like basically there's a gap, and so that's how the Julian Titus show came into being. But I don't necessarily want to do that every season,
right?
Nobody wants to listen to me ramble on by myself. It's why I stopped subscribing to the Jeff Gerstmann show, because I don't want to listen to Jeff Gerstmann ramble on by himself.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been an interesting year. Just has been all around. I had something I was going to say, but then I forgot mid-sentence, so here we are. Yeah, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, and I want to get like new guests on as well. I want to obviously have returning guests, but I want to try to reach out to some new people and see where that takes us. But you know, you never know. Sometimes it's hard to book people when you're a little show.
Yeah,
but
it is.
And if I sound down, I am a little bit, but I'm still really happy to be doing the show, and I'm really happy. Like, you know, look, like I think I had looked into it last year, where once I looked at like what the actual average numbers are for a podcast, it's like, okay, we're all like, I can't really complain because we're we're way above like you know, there's so many shows out there that probably are getting like 0 to 4
Julian
downloads a week.
When you used to go into some of that stuff, I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound that bad, man. Like trust me, I used to when I first started podcasting and had could look at the numbers, I was like, man, there's like 2 people listening to this. What am I doing this for? Like, right. You know, but then like slowly it went up, but at the same time.
But I was one of them, and that's how you ended up on Nerds Without Pants.
Yeah, exactly. But like it was, but at the same time, there are times where you're looking at it and you're like, what am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? Like, is this worth it? I don't know.
And for me, it has to always remain like a fun, creative outlet because and I've never intended it to be like a money making project or anything like that. My thing is that I do legitimately think that we make an excellent show, and I wish more people listen to it because like I listen to a lot of other video game podcasts and I'm like, we're better than this podcast.
Sure.
We really are. And I am like really self-deprecating and humble on most things, but not when it comes to this show. When it comes to this show, like I really think that we do a banger job, and I think it's a very different show in this space.
I love being a guest on anything. Just if you're out there and you do a podcast, I'll come on it and just make an absolute mess out of everything. It'll be great.
Yeah, me too. I wish more people would ask me. I've come to the conclusion that a lot of people on the internet don't like me.
Oh, same. And I'm fine with it.
So there's that. But it is what it is. But there are people that like me. And the listeners like us, and that's what matters. And it really does mean the world when you interact with us in any way, like with a comment or a question or concern, or you join our Discord or what have you. Especially for small shows like that's everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, bigger shows get like so much engagement that they can't even keep up with it. So you kind of just are shouting into the void. But with a smaller show, it's like, we see all of that, right?
Oh yeah.
Good or ill. And look, I'm totally open to criticism and or what am I trying to say?
I don't know what you're trying. Arguments? You want to argue with people?
No. Like if you think the show could be improved or something like that, right? Like constructive criticism. That's kind of what I was going towards, right? Like as long as you're not being a dick about it, right? I happy to hear that. Like, I don't want the audience to be a bunch of like yes people. That's boring. And I know that I personally have a lot of wild takes. I don't mean them to be wild takes. It is what it is.
Yeah. You've always been like that.
Yeah. I'm the Roger Ebert of video games.
And I truly mean that when I said it. And it because like it's fun when I play a game and I'm like there was a time where I'm like, oh man, Julian's gonna love this game, and then I'd get on here and he'd be like, nope, I hate it, and I'd be like, didn't expect that. Okay, now what? And then so now every time I play a video game and if that thought crosses my mind, I go, nope, get rid of that immediately. I bet he hates it. I bet money he hates it. And like sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong, and that's kind of the fun of just being like, what did you think of it? And then going from there. Okay. Like
it applies to you too though.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, I think Justin is going to be really into this, and you're like, yeah, I played this and it just really didn't do anything for me. I'm like, really?
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it happens.
Because I think my thing with you, even though we've been doing this together for like 6 years now, is I still can't really get a sense of like
I'm a moody guy.
What your go-tos are, besides like an RPG, right?
Yeah,
or like a really good mystery. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, I thought that was going to land for you, or I thought you were going to hate that. And it's we contain multitudes.
Very much
on the
so.
stage select.
Very much so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just kind of want to close this year out. Thanking you listeners profusely for being there for us and listening to us and supporting us. And that goes quadruple for our patrons.
I was wondering if you were getting there. Yes.
Yes. I wanted to close this episode out technically this is the last episode of December, but since we'll be on hiatus for January, thought it was a good opportunity to thank all of our patrons once again.
Why not?
Starting with the executive producer tier, we have Philip P.K. Becker.
We have Casey Curran.
We have Exrian.
We have Xavier Krager.
We have Stephen Lobo.
Doing a thing here. We have David Portnov.
We have Bookie.
We have Matt Jorgensen.
We have Dennis Robertson.
We have Raymond Crum.
We have Eric Peacock of the Soundtracker Podcast.
We have Big Baker.
We have Game Johnson of Retrofits. Is this annoying yet?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We have 60X Self.
We have AddieXD.
We have Dr. Delicious.
We have Bill Tucker of A Gamer Looks at 40.
I wish I could read these names as Eddie Vedder, but I can't do it. We have Blaine Faya.
We have the Let's Play Princess of Nerds of Broadcast.
At the associate producer tier. We have John Gholson of Man Finds Tape. Good movie.
We have Weston of Big Nerd Gaming.
We have Daft Man.
And at the Key Grip tier, we have Thurand.
We have at the free tier Jake Smith.
We have Lazy Bokes.
Good job. Yep. We have Aristocratical Chic.
We have Joshua Moncrief.
And we have Restuff.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the show. It really does mean the world. It definitely it helps with like the cost of the show, right? Because like as Justin said, you know, his hosting went up. Ours has kind of it's still stable.
Yeah,
but
it's also one show, which would be a lot more manageable than the two that I have. Yeah.
But also like I may need to look into a different thing for actually doing the recording. Right now we're using Zencaster, but there's downfalls to Zencaster, so I might be looking into like Riverside or maybe even Zoom. We'll see. I'm going to kind of shop around to see what's affordable and what features they have. The main thing we ran into for Game of the Year was like there's no share screen feature with Zencaster, which sometimes you want to do that so that you can kind of look at stuff together.
Right.
And also like when we watched the Game Awards, right? Like we had to do that through Discord because like there wasn't any way to. And I fucking, man, Discord sucks, Justin. I think it's such a like, it is one of the worst like things that I've used on the internet. Like it never works the way that I want it to. It's so cumbersome. I don't understand why it's like the de facto for like gaming and streaming, because I think it's fundamentally bad.
Yeah, I don't know. It did what it did. I don't know. I don't know.
But you should join our Discord if you haven't already and talk to us there.
It's fine there. Yeah.
It is a fun place to go.
I look at it sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm bad at just all social media. I'm just bad.
That's fine. It's probably you're probably better off for it.
Yeah. I don't miss it. Like the less I engage with it, the more I'm like, I just don't miss being on this at all.
Yeah. I think for me, you know, I didn't mention it for this episode as far as like the gaming stuff, but like I'm getting more and more exhausted with the anti AAA talk or the everything sucks in video games and it was so much better when and all of that rhetoric, because I'm like, you're just not paying attention or you're like you're not paying attention. Like AAA games are doing phenomenal things left and right.
Every generation has it. I've gotten into this speech before, man. Every generation has this thing where it's like, well, they don't make music like they did back in my day.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's just video games.
I am rallying against that for myself every day. It's like when I catch myself having those thoughts, I'm like, nope.
I told myself at a young age, always give whatever new is out there a chance. And that's a creed I live by.
Yeah.
So
I think the kids are all right.
Mm-hmm.
I think their 6-7s and their skivvy toilets are just fine.
Yeah. I don't get. I love. So I had to look into the 6-7 thing, because it came up on Reddit one day. I was like, okay, seriously, what's going on? And then I looked it up, and like I respect it a lot now because it's a thing. That the joke is nobody really knows what the joke is. And I'm like, that's kind of genius. I kind of enjoy that.
Well, and it's also a spin-off of the Mason meme.
Sure.
Because the kid who was originally filmed doing the 6-7 bit looks like the Mason meme.
Mm-hmm.
It's this joke about like this kid that is probably named Mason and he has this dumb like ice cream bowl haircut and is probably blonde and probably like I think one of the things is that he plays like JV soccer or something like, you know, like all of these things, right? And like the kid who did the 6-7 thing was like, oh, the epitome of that meme. Right. So it was like it was working on like multiple levels.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's silly. It's fun.
Good. It's dumb. I like it.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway,
I like you, Justin, as my
thank you. I like you too, Julian, or else I wouldn't be here.
Right. That's real.
That's true. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd be
Yes.
like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna not do that anymore.
Yeah. Nah, not going to say that. Never mind. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a show, Justin.
That's-
No, actually, I think that's a season, Justin.
That's a season, Julian. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yes.
sounds right.
As we said earlier, this is our last recording for the season. We will be off for 6 weeks, but that does not mean that the feed is going to be empty. You have 3 weeks of Game of the Year deliberations to look forward to, and then there will be other stuff filling the void in the meantime. And if you're a patron, things will continue there as usual, as well as we'll probably try to put a music thing together. I'm not sure if that's feasible right now.
I don't know either. We'll have to see.
Yeah,
because I was looking at
that.
Yeah,
we might have to wait until you're all moved and settled in.
Oh
for
yeah,
that. So that might be later.
Okay, as of this recording, Julian, we're planning on next Saturday, so hopefully then soon after that.
Oh sure, but you could still. I mean, that's moving. That's not necessarily settled, right?
No, we won't be settled. But that's the thing. But yeah,
I'm not settled. I've been here for 4 years.
It won't be too long,
right?
But like. Still,
so it might be feasible during the break.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Exactly. But
I don't want to commit to that right now. It's possible that might come out after season 3 starts.
Looking over my list, I was like, I don't know how much music from any of this stuff stands out, except for like maybe like 2 or 3 games, right?
Oh, I've got some stuff.
I know. I'm sure you do. And I will find stuff. Trust me, I always do.
And maybe this year we actually do more tracks from individual games instead of just picking one this year.
Very true.
So we'll see. We'll figure it out. But I think we do need your whole streaming setup to. Well, we don't.
How did we do that last year?
Last year we did it through your streaming setup where you played the music while we were talking.
Right.
But we could always do the old way where we talk about the music and then I lay it in.
Well, there's that, or I have buttons that will play the songs.
Right.
We could
try that as well.
I think I did set it up like that last year, and then we were like, no, let's not do it like that. And I was like, actually, it's a lot easier to do it like this. The way that we did do it, I remember now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's gonna do it for this final episode of the season. Thanks as always to the wonderful Megan McDuffie for our theme song and interstitial tracks. Don't forget to check out her social media for her tour dates for next year if you are so inclined.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to friend of the show John Gholson for being our announcer and providing us with our logo and artwork.
Yeah.
Go buy Man Finds Tape on VOD if you haven't already.
It's pretty good.
It is.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if it'll still be going when this comes out, but go check out the funding campaign for his next short film, Terms and Conditions. I donated. Did you?
Cool.
But that's going to do it for this season of the Stage Select. I've been Julian Titus. He's been Justin Ham. We've been the Stage Select. Signing off.
Uh-huh.
The Stage Select is copyrighted and owned by Space Monkey Mafia Productions, specializing in independent podcasting. Please consider sharing the show with your friends and support us by joining our Patreon or donating to our coffee. Thank you, and good night.
When I came to, the cold chill down my spine was gone. Gone, like my ex-wife. In its place was searing heat that surrounded me. I looked around to get my bearings, but all I could see was rock, ash, and flames as far as the eye could see. None of this made sense. I was a private detective, hired to run security for a 2-bit variety show and track down a saboteur. Sure, I was bad at my job, but so were they. So was a match made in heaven. But this felt like hell. Bubbly Gum Quiz. I'm your host, Spence Sterling. Tonight, and every night from now on, your contestant is Dick Harden. A waste of space from the Stage Select studio.
No.